Romantic Tales. Chapter 160. Don't. Sun Jie didn't let go of Yang Xiao air. Although Yang Ming wasn't against one-night stands, he couldn't not consider safety. In this era of AIDS and STDs, Yang Ming didn't want to be impulsive. Besides, Yang Ming was a bit of a male chauvinist. In his opinion, a woman's past wasn't important. Even if she wasn't a virgin, Yang Ming wouldn't look down on her. But once he had a relationship with her, he would want to be the woman's last man. He couldn't tolerate that this woman would cheat on him in the future. Therefore, Yang Ming had to be prepared in advance to avoid this situation. For example, Sun Jie. Yang Ming couldn't understand this woman at all. Even someone as strong as Yang Ming couldn't guarantee that he could take Sun Jie down in the future. That was because this woman was too mysterious and too strange. The only solution Yang Ming could think of was to wear a condom. In this way, Yang Ming could say that he was just doing it with a condom. This condom couldn't cheat on him, right? In fact, this idea was a bit of self-deception. However, Yang Ming's extreme male chauvinism was also an idea. High-end KTV was good. Otherwise, Yang Ming really couldn't get off. When he entered the bathroom, Yang Ming saw 2 condoms and a few bags of shampoo for men and women on the shelf next to the bathtub. Yang Ming reached for a condom and tore open the wrapping paper. Sun Jie saw that Yang Ming was going to use a condom. She frowned slightly and said softly, "Don't use that. I'm very clean." With Sun Jie's intelligence, she naturally thought of Yang Ming's concerns. Sun Jie was a bit bitter. Who asked her to be so lustful? This kid probably thought that she was a slut who couldn't be choosy. Yang Ming was stunned. Very clean? Sweat, which woman would say that she was sick? Yang Ming didn't listen to her. With his experience with Lan Ling, Yang Ming put on the condom with ease. AI. Sun Jie sighed faintly. Yang Ming was taller than Sun Jie by a head. The 2 people stood face to face. This posture was difficult enough. Yang Ming had to squat and pick Sun Jie up with his hands. Even though Yang Ming's body was very strong, he couldn't hold on for long. Yang Ming looked around and directly carried Sun Jie to the platform of the sink. Half an hour later, Yang Ming was exhausted. Doing it in the bathroom, although it brought a different sense of excitement and novelty, it was really tiring. It was no wonder that those who tried it once gave up on the second try. Sun Jie, who had vented, had a refreshing feeling all over her body. She really wanted to sleep, but she knew that she couldn't. There were still people waiting outside. Sun Jie, who regained her calmness, quietly glanced at the man who hugged her and breathed heavily. He was a very handsome man with a lot of personality. It was just that he was a little young. Otherwise, he seemed to be a good candidate for a boyfriend. Women were like this. Sun Jie gently broke away from Yang Ming's arms. "Hurry up and clean up. There are still people outside." Yang Ming was enjoying Sun Jie's huge chest. He was a little reluctant to be pushed away. "You hugged me tightly when you wanted it. Now that you're done, you're pushing me away?" This made Yang Ming very uncomfortable. However, what Sun Jie said was also a fact. Yang Li was still outside. "If she found out something and ran to my parents, then I would be in deep trouble." He didn't know why, but Yang Ming felt that although it was very tiring, it was the most refreshing. He didn't know if it was because of the excitement of having an affair, or because of Sun Jie's hot body and huge chest, or because there were people waiting outside in the bathroom. In short, this kind of excitement made Yang Ming unforgettable. The 2 people quickly cleaned up the battlefield and put on their clothes. After wrapping the toilet paper and condoms full of that, they put it in the sewer and washed it away. Sun Jie was a woman, so it was more troublesome. She had to touch up her makeup in front of the mirror. Yang Ming was simple. He just washed his face and it was done. Seeing that there were no flaws, the 2 were ready to go out. "Sun Jie." Yang Ming felt that he should say something. "Don't say anything," Sun Jie said faintly. "Don't we all need each other? After we go out, just pretend that nothing happened." Although Sun Jie couldn't forget the feeling of ecstasy, she was a very rational person. Once she wasn't driven by the drug, she also recovered her usual calmness. She knew that there was almost no possibility between her and Yang Ming. Not to mention the age gap, the gap between their identities was too big. Yang Ming was still a student. "I know." Yang Ming frowned after listening. He was very uncomfortable in his heart. "You're still arrogant?" It was no wonder that Yang Ming would be angry. These words were really hurtful coming from a woman's mouth. Yang Ming felt that he was a failure. "Motherfucker, am I a tool for you to vent your anger?" How could Sun Jie not hear the dissatisfaction in Yang Ming's words? She smiled faintly at him. This isn't the first time, right? Seems that I really underestimated you. Aren't you the same? We're the same. Yang Ming said sarcastically. Sun Jie listened to Yang Ming's words and her face sank. She wanted to say something but she hesitated. She sighed, opened the door of the bathroom and walked out. Yang Ming was a bit inexplicable. You did it, but you don't let me say it. In the private room, Guo Jianchao and President Hua saw that the door of the bathroom was finally opened. They were very happy. In their heart they thought this Sun Jie can really hold it in. But she finally couldn't hold it in, right? But when they saw Yang Ming behind Sun Jie, they were suddenly dumbfounded. Guo Jianchao's mouth opened so wide that an egg could be stuffed in. Why is that little punk in the bathroom? Chapter 161. Guo Jianchao and President Hua had been waiting there. They looked at the watch. It has been more than half an hour. Why hasn't she come out yet? Guo Jianchao was a little worried. Brother Hua, do you think Sun Jie really solved it herself? Logically it shouldn't be. But it has been more than half an hour. She can really hold it in. President Hua also frowned. Could it be that the boss who sold the healthcare products lied to him? It should be impossible. The boss is the brother of his brother's mistress's ex-girlfriend. Logically he shouldn't lie, right? Besides, it's not like I can't afford it. There's no reason to fool me with a fake product. Besides, I didn't bargain at all. So when the door of the bathroom opened, Guo Jianchao and President Hua were happy. But when they saw Yang Ming who came out, their faces weren't so good. Guo Jianchao opened his mouth in surprise and pointed at Sun Jie and Yang Ming. At this moment, Sun Jie's face was rosy with a slight bright luster. She didn't look like she was dissatisfied. Instead, she looked like she had been moisturized. Her face was full of satisfaction. I'm sorry. I feel a little uncomfortable. I just drank a glass of wine and vomited. My boyfriend has been taking care of me. Sun Jie smiled and explained. So that's the case. Is it serious? Guo Jianchao's eyes flashed with anger. Could this Yang Ming really be Sun Jie's boyfriend? Or was it a stroke of luck that allowed him to pick up a bargain? But now that Sun Jie was so happy, it seemed to be the first case. Drunk? People who knew Sun Jie knew her alcohol tolerance. How could she get drunk with a small glass of red wine? Sun Jie knew what they did in the bathroom. Guo Jianchao, as the person who drugged her, must know better. It was just that they didn't expose each other. Don't worry, Vice President Guo. I'm fine. Sun Jie smiled and said. Really? Guo Jianchao's heart was very uncomfortable. He raised the wine glass on the table and drank the wine inside. Sorry, Sun Jie. I have something to do. I'll leave first. Guo Jianchao no longer had the mood to stay here. He stumbled out of the door of the private room. President Hua looked at Guo Jianchao's back and shook his head. This kid is still too young. Why is he so impulsive? After Guo Jianchao left, President Hua couldn't continue to stay here. So he got up and found an excuse to leave. At this time Yang Li also woke up, but she didn't know what happened. She opened her eyes in a daze. Sun Jie, they all left? And they're all gone. Let's go. Sun Jie nodded. Yang Li rubbed her eyes and saw that Yang Ming was still standing there stupidly. She was a little angry. Why haven't you left yet? That. Calm. Be gay. Looking at Yang Ming's back as he left, Sun Jie sighed again. Then she pretended to be casual and chatted with Yang Li. Li, your cousin is very interesting. Interesting? Yang Li snorted at Sun Jie's statement. Does he have a girlfriend? Sun Jie asked. Guo Jianchao's dissatisfaction reached the extreme. What is this? How can a little punk have Sun Jie? I am the vice president of the Xiongfeng group. What is wrong with her? Guo Jianchao walked and searched for a target. Yes, he now had an evil fire in his heart that needed to be vented. The quality of the girls in the nightless club was good. He was ready to take one back and have some fun. A woman who passed by with a fruit plate made Guo Jianchao's eyes light up. Too flirtatious. The place that should be big was big and the place that should be small was small. When she walked, her little butt was swaying. It was as sexy as it could be. This made Guo Jianchao, who had just been heartbroken, have a desire to burn. Guo Jianchao reached out and stopped the girl who was carrying the fruit plate. Miss, do you have an appointment tonight? Sir, you drank too much. The woman avoided Guo Jianchao's perverted hand without leaving a trace. She said faintly, if you want to call her a miss, I can help you contact her. Call her a miss? Aren't you a miss? Gu Jianchao reached out again and wanted to grab the arm of the beauty in front of him. Sir, please conduct yourself with dignity. The woman didn't get angry, but reminded Gu Jianchao again. This isn't your first time at the Nightless Club. You should be clear about the rules here. A miss is a miss and a waiter is a waiter. Guests can't force a waiter to leave unless the waiter is willing. Willing? You are afraid that I won't give you money, right? Let me tell you I have money. Gu Jianchao said, it's you. Name a price. Sir, I am working. If you insist on keeping me, then you have to consider the consequences. This time the woman was a little angry. Consequences? What consequences can there be? Are you threatening me? Gu Jianchao was a little annoyed. It's fine if Sun Jie doesn't agree with me, but you are a nightclub waiter. Why are you pretending to be badass in front of me? Sir, I don't mean to threaten you. The rules of the Nightless Club are like this. I hope you can abide by it so that we can live in peace. The woman frowned and said, look at how badass you are. Let me tell you I have my eyes on you. Today I will take you away. If it was a normal situation, Gu Jianchao wouldn't have lost his self-control. The reason why this happened was that Sun Jie hit him too hard today. Secondly, the glass of wine before leaving was too strong. He drank too much, so he was a little tipsy. Sir, if you are like this again, I will call for help. The woman made a final warning. Call for help? Okay, I am here to spend money. I am God. You call for help. I don't believe that the Nightless Club will go against money. I am not afraid to tell you that I am the vice president of the Xiongfeng Group. I have a lot of money. As Gu Jianchao said this, he hugged the woman in front of him and started to touch her body. Someone come. The woman shouted, but just as she shouted half a sentence, her mouth was covered by Gu Jianchao. In fact, the other waiters who passed by had already informed the security room of the situation here. Brother Bao. Something happened in the KTV private room. A waiter said to a man with a fierce face. What happened? Brother Bao was playing cards with his underlings. When he heard that something happened, he immediately threw away the cards in his hand. Brother Bao was the security captain here. Of course, this was an external title. In fact, he was an underworld member who looked after the place. Some of the bigger nightclubs, in order to make their business prosperous so that the guests could safely spend money here, they would pay some people from the underworld to come here. No matter if the guests or the hooligans were making trouble, these people would come forward to solve it. Of course, the fee was much higher than the average security guard. Brother Bao understood the principle of taking someone's money and solving a problem for them. So, when he heard that something happened, he immediately stopped the entertainment in his hand and asked very seriously. The KTV waiter, Xiao Jiao, was entangled by a drunk guest in the corridor. He wanted to take her out, but Xiao Jiao refused. As a result, the guest began to take liberties with her. The waiter who came in said, Xiao Jiao? Brother Bao shook his head. There were too many people here. He couldn't know everyone, but it didn't matter whether he knew them or not. As long as this Xiao Jiao was a waiter here, then Brother Bao must stand up for her. This was what he had to do to look after the place, and it was also his job. Xiao Jiao didn't tell that person the rules here? She did, but the guest didn't listen. The waiter said. Brother Bao nodded, then pointed to a few underlings who were playing cards together and said, You guys come with me to take a look. Yes, Brother Bao. A few people stood up and followed Brother Bao outside. What is the identity of that person? Brother Bao asked as usual as he walked. After all, the Nightless Club was one of the most luxurious places to spend money in Songjiang City. The guests who could come here to play had a lot of identity and background. They couldn't be easily offended. Just like last time, a guest made trouble here and Brother Bao wasn't there that day. As a result, Brother Bao's underlings directly broke the troublemaker's leg without distinguishing between right and wrong. This was like poking a hornet's nest. The troublemaker was the only son of the underworld boss of Shuanghai City, a prefecture-level city on the edge of Songjiang City. Because of this, Brother Bao and his underlings fought 3 times with the underworld of Shuanghai City. Both sides suffered heavy losses. Therefore, some things were best to ask clearly in advance to avoid worse consequences. Just like the previous incident, if he knew the identity of the other party in advance, he could only scare the other party. It was impossible to break his leg. Therefore, there were different ways to treat different people. Chapter 162. According to him, he is the vice president of Xiongfeng Group. The waiter said. Vice president? So he's a worker? A sinister smile appeared on Brother Leopard's face. Yang Ming opened the door of the private room and was about to leave. Suddenly he saw a familiar figure walking past him. That person obviously didn't notice Yang Ming, but Yang Ming saw him clearly. Yang Ming quickly caught up and patted the person's back. Brother Bao. Although Brother Bao had a few fights with Shuanghai's boss, his reputation in the underworld had risen. Now Brother Bao's reputation in Songjiang City could be said to be like the sun in the sky. Brother Bao was Bao Sanli, the one who shared a cell with Yang Ming in the detention center. Therefore, how many people dared to pat his shoulder now? Brother Bao felt that someone had patted him and he was about to get angry. But when he turned around and saw the person, he immediately showed a happy expression. Brother Yang, how come it's you? What a coincidence, Brother Bao. Why are you here? Seeing an old acquaintance, Yang Ming was naturally very enthusiastic. The two of them had gone through thick and thin together. I don't have a proper job. After I was released, I was here to look after the place. I heard from the waiter that there was a guest causing trouble. I'm going to take a look. Brother Bao said. Then you go quickly. I won't disturb your business. I will find you another day. Knowing that Bao Sanli had a proper business to do, Yang Ming didn't dare to delay him. It's okay. Come with me. What are you afraid of with your skills? Brother Bao hooked Yang Ming's shoulder and pushed him forward. Okay, Brother Bao, I will go with you. You should let go of me quickly. If others don't know, they will think that we are broken backs. That's disgusting. Yang Ming quickly pushed away Bao Sanli's hand. He who dares to say. Although Bao Sanli said so, he still took his hand away. He was still afraid of Yang Ming. This kid was really violent when he hit people. You're doing well? Yang Ming reached out and touched Bao Sanli's tie. It's from Jing Li. You brat, are you serious? Isn't this what I learned from you, Brother Yang? Only by being ruthless can one gain a foothold in the underworld. Thinking back to the past, it was really laughable. He was sent to the detention center after beating up a few people. Now he's completely fine. Bao Sanli said with emotion, the boss here also has some skills. I stand up for him. As long as I don't kill people, he can usually come forward to settle it. I say, Brother Yang, if you are in this world, you will definitely do better than me. Me? I'd better study hard in my university. Yang Ming smiled and shook his head. If he wanted to, he would have continued to do so. There was no need to go to school. The two of them chatted and laughed as they arrived at the scene of the accident. At this time, Guo Jianchao was reaching under the skirt of the woman called Xiao Jiao. Why is it him? When Yang Ming saw that it was Guo Jianchao, he couldn't help but be surprised. Just that, isn't this guy's vision a bit too bad? This chick has nothing to praise except for her good figure. Her face is like a shoehorn. Yang Ming was sweating profusely. Why, Brother Yang, do you know him? Bao Sanli stopped and asked in a low voice. If this person is Yang Ming's friend, then Bao Sanli must give him face. Not to mention that Yang Ming is a person that Bao Sanli respects. Even if he were to go against Yang Ming, Bao Sanli, couldn't win against Yang Ming. Although he wasn't afraid of a group fight, if Yang Ming were to do something behind his back, he couldn't stand it. Of course, Bao Sanli didn't even think about going against Yang Ming. The feelings in prison were second only to the 3 iron in today's society. I know him. I just had a meal with this idiot. Yang Ming's tone had a hint of sarcasm. Bao Sanli immediately understood. Listening to this tone, it seems that Brother Yang and this kid have a grudge, so he said, Brother Yang, you know this person. What do you think? What do I say? What did you decide to do? Yang Ming asked. Kick him out and throw him on the road. Bao Sanli said. Kick him out. Isn't that too easy on him? Yang Ming said to himself. Bao Sanli listened. This isn't an ordinary grudge. Then it's easy to handle. Who doesn't know how to hit harder? So he said, it's not a problem to break both of his legs as long as Brother Yang feels relieved. Break both of his legs? No. Yang Ming shook his head. He was no longer the reckless Yang Ming from a while ago. Sometimes beating up your enemy wasn't the best solution. He had to think of a way to punish the other party and get benefits from himself. Brother Yang, do you think it's too cruel? Bao Sanli thought that Yang Ming felt that breaking both of his legs was too cruel. It's not cruel, but breaking his legs doesn't give me any substantial benefits. Speaking of this, Yang Ming suddenly remembered what Heat Sock President Hua's words just now. If he caught the other party's weakness, he wouldn't be afraid that he wouldn't listen to him in the future. Thinking of this, Yang Ming suddenly had a flash of inspiration. Brother Bao, you follow my method later. No problem. It's a piece of cake. Leave it to your brother. Just watch. Bao Sanli patted his chest and promised, Brother Yang, this move of yours is really insidious. That kid is going to have bad luck tonight. Fists aren't the way to solve everything. Sometimes the brain is also very important. Yang Ming felt that he was more comprehensive than before, so he couldn't help but say proudly, Brother Yang is right. It's a pity that you don't come out. Bao Sanli nodded. Yang Ming sweated. Why do you always want to drag me into this? At this moment, Bao Sanli walked over and shouted as he walked, What's going on? Who's making trouble here? Brother Bao. Save me. Xiao Jiao heard Brother Bao's voice. It was as if she saw her savior and shouted for help. It's Xiao Jiao? Bao Sanli walked over quickly and grabbed Gu Jianchao's collar and shouted, You motherfucker, how dare you flirt with my girl? You don't want to live anymore? As he said this, he gave Xiao Jiao a look. The waiters here were all smart people. They served the customers every day and learned the skill of observing. At this moment, Xiao Jiao saw the look that Bao Sanli gave her and immediately understood. Brother Bao was looking for a reason for her action this time. In fact, Xiao Jiao misunderstood. Why would Bao Sanli need a reason to beat someone? Who are you? When Gu Jianchao saw the man in front of him who didn't look like a good person, he immediately sobered up. Who am I? I am the security captain here. She's my girlfriend. I heard that you want to take her out by force? Bao Sanli stared at Gu Jianchao and asked. How could Gu Jianchao not understand? This security captain must be the underworld boss here. Otherwise, how could the security guards not wear uniforms? But the waitress named Xiao Jiao is actually his girl? It can't be such a coincidence, right? How can I be so unlucky? Although Gu Jianchao had some status in society, it was only limited to the business world and the legal world. People in the underworld wouldn't give you face. If you were the chairman, maybe they would give you some respect. But as a manager, they really wouldn't give you face. Therefore, Gu Jianchao was most afraid of meeting people in the underworld. As for why he wasn't afraid of Yang Ming before, it was because he didn't think that Yang Ming was a member of the underworld because there was an essential difference between the underworld and the little punk. He felt that Yang Ming was just a little punk on the street. There was nothing to be afraid of. But the underworld was different. Not only were they organized and disciplined, but they were also particularly vicious. Therefore, after Gu Jianchao recognized the situation, he quickly apologized. Sorry, I made a mistake. This big brother, if there is nothing else, then I will go first. Go. Bao Sanli grabbed Gu Jianchao's hair and slapped him twice. You fucking touched my girlfriend and you want to leave? Do you think I don't exist? I thought she was just an ordinary waitress. Gu Jianchao was beaten until he saw stars, but he didn't dare to resist. Ordinary waitress? Even ordinary waitresses can't do it. Our nightless club has rules. Guests can't force waitresses to leave. Bao Sanli shouted, Don't tell me you don't know. Gu Jianchao was a little overwhelmed. He really didn't expect that his impulse actually caused such a big consequence. But now the other party definitely wouldn't let him go easily. He could only admit defeat. So he said dejectedly, Sorry big brother, I was wrong. You tell me what to do. Do you want me to pay for it? Pay for it? Are you fucking stupid? Why do I need money? Bao Sanli glared and punched Gu Jianchao's stomach. Do you think my girl is sold? You can touch her with money? If I fuck your wife and give you some money, are you willing? Chapter 163. Then what do you say? Gu Jianchao learned to be smart this time. He didn't dare to come up with ideas. Instead, he gave the initiative to Bao Sanli and let him say it. What should we do? Kid, let me tell you. My girl has never been touched by any man except me. Today you are the first. You are really the first badass in the history of the Nightless Club. Bao Sanli said sarcastically, Take this kid back to the office first. There are many people here. Take care of him slowly. He dared to touch the waitress. He is simply looking for death. Bao Sanli was not afraid of many people. If he was afraid of many people, he would have taken Gu Jianchao away. Now, it had attracted a lot of onlookers. Yes, Bao Sanli wanted to create this kind of momentum of killing one to warn 100. He wanted to tell those guests to let them go back and spread the news. Everyone must abide by the rules of the Nightless Club. Several underlings who came together heard the boss's words. They directly reached out and pulled Gu Jianchao in the direction of the security room. In the crowd in a corner, Yang Ming let out a sneer. He didn't pity Gu Jianchao at all. This kind of person with a problem in character was not worthy of pity. It could be said that Gu Jianchao was purely reaping what he sowed. If he didn't drug Sun Jie, Yang Ming would not question his character. Maybe he would help him when he was troubled by Bao Sanli. But now not only did he not want to help him, but he was ready to continue to add fuel to the fire. Gu Jianchao was pushed into the security room. A group of people rushed in. The first thing was to kick Gu Jianchao. These underlings had been following Bao Sanli for a while. They were especially good at adapting to the situation. They knew what to do just by looking at this situation. Gu Jianchao was the vice president of a company. When had he seen such a situation? He thought that the underworld would only appear on TV. Now it was really standing by his side. Gu Jianchao was beaten until he begged for mercy. He howled like a pig being slaughtered. However, the sound insulation system of the security room was quite first class. The outside world couldn't hear it at all. After the fight, the two men grabbed Gu Jianchao's hair and lifted him up. Then they kicked his legs and said, "Kneel." Gu Jianchao originally didn't dare to resist anymore and could only obediently kneel down. Adding on the fact that his entire body was in so much pain that he could only groan, he couldn't say a single word. At this time, the door of the security room was pushed open and a tall, thin man walked in. He saw Gu Jianchao kneeling on the ground and asked, "Who the fuck is this?" "Brother Rue, this guy is flirting with Brother Bao's girlfriend," a subordinate said. "Bao Sanli's girlfriend?" Qi Wenrui was stunned. He and Bao Sanli were close friends. How could he not know that Bao Sanli had a girlfriend? But since he said so, there must be a reason. Qi Wenrui didn't expose him but cooperatively kicked Gu Jianchao's butt and said with a smile, "You fucking don't want to live anymore, right? He really has a plan." "Brother, I was wrong. I didn't know that he was Brother Bao's girlfriend." I'm sorry, Gu Jianchao said quickly. "Motherfucker, what were you doing earlier?" Qi Wenrui hit Gu Jianchao's head. "It's useless to beg me. You have to tell Brother Bao." "Brother Bao, I was wrong. Please be magnanimous and forgive me. Just treat me as a fart and let me go." Gu Jianchao thought that this line was funny when he heard it. Now he finally understood the feeling of the person who said this. "Let you go? Then wouldn't my loss be in vain?" Bao Sanli said angrily, "You should slap yourself 10 times first." "Ah." Gu Jianchao was stunned and looked at Bao Sanli with some incomprehension. "Motherfucker, Brother Bao asked you to slap yourself. Are you deaf?" One of Bao Sanli's men immediately jumped out and grabbed Gu Jianchao's hair and gave him 2 big slaps. The sound was crisp and louder than clapping hands. "I will slap myself." Gu Jianchao also saw the situation clearly. It was less painful to slap himself. He couldn't let others slap him. Hurry up." The underling was too lazy to do it himself. Seeing that Gu Jianchao was so obedient, he was happy to be free. Gu Jianchao didn't dare to disobey. He clenched his teeth and slapped himself left and right. "Alright, stop fucking fanning the flames. I'm annoyed just listening to it. Brother Bao, quickly deal with this brat. Delay's side is waiting for us." Qi Wenrui was a little impatient. Couldn't this kind of thing be left to his underlings? "Alright then. Since you've asked, I'll let you off the hook for now. You should first write a guarantee for me. If it's good, I won't beat you. If it's not good, there will be a floating corpse at the beach today." Bao Sanli sneered. Alright. I will write. I will write now." Gu Jianchao didn't doubt Bao Sanli's words at all. They were the underworld. What couldn't the underworld do? In addition to what he saw on TV and newspapers, the person in front of him was simply a murderous demon. "Ashue, go and find him a pen and paper. You write what I say." Bao Sanli ordered one of the underlings. The underling named Ashue immediately found the money and handed it to Gu Jianchao. Gu Jianchao picked up the pen with his trembling hand. After a long time he finally found the feeling. Bao Sanli coughed twice and took out his cell phone from his pocket. He looked at the screen of the cell phone and said, "Letter of guarantee. I drank too much today and tried to rape the waitress of the nightless club, Wang Xiaojiao. I didn't rape her." Gu Jianchao quickly explained. One must know that attempted rape and molestation were 2 different concepts. If Bao Sanli called the police or threatened him afterwards, there would be no end of trouble. "Do you want to die?" Qi Wenrui was already impatient. He walked over and punched Gu Jianchao's body. "Just write what I ask you to write. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Brother Bao, I think we should just kill this kid and throw him into the sea to feed the sharks. Why are you talking nonsense with him? Bao Sanli waved his hand and said, You said you didn't rape her? The surveillance video captured it clearly. What was your hand doing there? Gu Jianchao was stunned. He didn't expect there to be a surveillance video. Then his previous behavior was a bit like rape. This kind of thing couldn't be explained. Plus, when he heard Qi Wenrui say he was going to kill him, he was immediately scared and had cold sweat. He quickly said, All right. I don't want to die. Then hurry up and write. I drank too much today and attempted to rape the waitress of the nightless club, Wang Xiaojiao. As a result, I was caught by the security guards of the nightless club. Guarantee Gu Jianchao. Bao Sanli finished reading the text message sent by Yang Ming in his hand. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Yang is so cultured. He could make up such a long guarantee in such a short time. Yang Ming didn't make it up. He called Zhang Bin and asked him to search for a format example on the internet. He sent it to his mobile phone using QQ. Then Yang Ming edited a few places and sent it to Bao Sanli. I've finished writing, Gu Jianchao said after he signed. Press your fingerprint again. Prepare a stamp for him. Bao Sanli said. Therefore, Gu Jianchao pressed his fingerprint again. The guarantee was passed to Bao Sanli. Bao Sanli simply looked at it and found that there were no mistakes. He folded it and put it in his pocket. He nodded and said, You are quite obedient. Then this beating will be waived first. Waived first? Gu Jianchao was stunned. Then you mean you can beat me up any time in the future? But Gu Jianchao didn't dare to ask more. Had to get through this first. Brother Bao, can I go now? Go? Are you stupid? You want to go now? Bao Sanli widened his eyes as if he heard the funniest joke. Didn't I write a guarantee? Gu Jianchao asked. A guarantee is a guarantee. You raped my girl. We have to calculate this carefully. As Bao Sanli said this, he gave Qi Wenrui a look to let him not be anxious. I didn't rape. Gu Jianchao just finished speaking and his butt was kicked. He was scared and quickly shut up. Logically, our ancestors have an old saying called an eye for an eye. Do you think I should find someone to rape you? Bao Sanli shook his head and said. Gu Jianchao was stunned. Find someone to rape me? Is there such a good thing? A man raping a woman is considered rape, but a woman raping a man? No matter what, Gu Jianchao felt good about it, right? So he quickly nodded and said, Okay, I will listen to Brother Bao. Don't be happy too early. You are a man. You want to rape my girl. What do you think I should do? Bao Sanli asked. Of course, find a woman to rape me. Gu Jianchao said quickly. Chapter 164. Find a woman? A man raped my girl. Of course, I have to find a man to rape back. You are a general manager. Why is your logical thinking so bad? Bao Sanli scolded. Gu Jianchao was stunned. Listening to Brother Bao, you want a man to rape me? Bao Sanli smiled sinisterly. Ashue, call Poison Dragon in. After Ashue received the order, he immediately ran out. After a while, a man who looked like a transvestite came in. Yeah, Brother Bao, you are looking for me? Get lost. Bao Sanli waved his hand and dodged the hand of Poison Dragon who was about to put on his shoulder. Then he pointed to Gu Jianchao on the ground and said, He is yours. Serve him well. Yeah, this gigolo is quite handsome. Poison Dragon looked at the prey on the ground with joy. Then he stroked Gu Jianchao's face and said lovingly, Come, let Brother Poison Dragon serve you. Who are you? Stay away from me. Don't touch me. Gu Jianchao felt a chill. He wasn't gay and didn't have any special hobbies. Don't be shy. Brother Bao, he is not obedient. What should I do? Poison Dragon asked. Give him the medicine we prepared. Bao Sanli waved his hand. An underling came over with a cup. He pinched Gu Jianchao's nose and opened his cheeks. Then he poured all the liquid in the cup into Gu Jianchao's esophagus. After the liquid was poured, Gu Jianchao was taken into the inner lounge of the security room by a few people. There was a bed here. It was originally the place where they slept when they were tired from duty. Now it had become Poison Dragon's temporary office. Is the surveillance turned on? Bao Sanli asked worriedly. Brother Bao, don't worry. The cameras on all 4 feet are turned on. All angles are absolutely clear. An underling operating the surveillance replied. Okay, use the highest quality compression format. Record it for me later. Bao Sanli ordered. No problem. The underling nodded. After all this was done, Qi Wenrui asked in confusion, Brother Bao, what are you singing? What is this guy doing? Him. He, an enemy of a buddy. Bao Sanli laughed. Brothers? Which one? Qi Wenrui was puzzled. He's here. Bao Sanli pointed at the door. The door of the security room was pushed open and Yang Ming came in. Brother Yang. Qi Wenrui was stunned for a moment before he happily went over to greet him. Qi Wenrui, you brat are doing pretty well too. Yang Ming said with a smile. Brother Yang, you must be joking. I'm just fooling around, huh? Qi Wenrui laughed and patted Yang Ming's shoulder. Brother Yang, what's going on? You should know how I entered the detention center, right? Yang Ming asked. Isn't it because of a kid named Wang Jitao? Qi Wenrui said. Isn't his father the chairman of Songjiang Xiongfeng Group? I remember now. Isn't that brat the vice president of Xiongfeng Group? Bao Sanli nodded as if he understood everything. At this time there was a sudden scream of ah, from the lounge. Yang Ming frowned. Didn't you drug him? It's a normal physiological reaction, right? Bao Sanli wasn't very good at this. The drug was given to him by Poison Dragon, but Poison Dragon wouldn't dare to lie to him, so he said, Don't worry, Brother Yang. It won't be a problem. Yang Ming nodded and told Bao Sanli about what happened during this period of time. When he heard that Yang Ming and Yu Xiangda met, Bao Sanli gritted his teeth and said, This brat, I will cripple him one day. What happened? Yang Ming asked curiously. He hit a black brick behind me and almost broke my head. Bao Sanli scolded, This brat is too shady. Yang Ming was stunned. There are people who play shady in the underworld. Brother Yang, you don't understand Yu Xiangda. If it were other people looking for an enemy, they would bring people with real knives and guns to fight. But this brat likes to play shady tricks behind people's backs. Qi Wenrui scolded, This son of a bitch is so mean. Yang Ming shook his head. No wonder Yu Xiangda didn't do anything to me last time. Yang Ming was still wondering. No matter how good I am at fighting, I can't win against so many people. Why is Yu Xiangda so afraid of me? He is afraid of me playing shady tricks behind his back. After about half an hour, Poison Dragon came out. It's so cool. This brat is a virgin. Bao Sanli rolled his eyes. For you, who isn't a virgin? Hurry up and say the main point. How is the brat? Hey, after the drug took effect, this brat was very enthusiastic. Poison Dragon said, It's so cool. Hey, you don't have to say any more. Yang Ming felt a chill when he heard it. Yo, who is this little brother? He looks so strong. Poison Dragon said as he was going to touch Yang Ming's chest muscles. Fuck you. Yang Ming was shocked and jumped 3 feet high. Stay away from me. Poison Dragon, if you want to die, continue to provoke him. Bao Sanli smiled and said, This brat can beat you into a meat patty with one punch. I'm just kidding, hee. Poison Dragon also saw the importance of Yang Ming and didn't dare to joke anymore. Okay, you can't tell from the video that he was forced, right? Asked Yang Ming. Don't worry, Brother Yang. You definitely can't tell. He was particularly proactive. When the drug took effect, he was very lascivious. Poison Dragon said. Okay, thank you. Yang Ming nodded to him. Brother Yang, what are you talking about? I'm the one who feels good. Poison Dragon laughed. Bao Sanli waved his hand and let Poison Dragon go out first. Then he walked into the lounge and saw Gujianchao lying on the ground like a dog. He kicked his butt and said, How was it? Did you feel good? Ouch. Gujianchao's butt was in great pain. He wanted to say no, but he quickly stopped. He was afraid of being kicked again. His butt was quite fragile now. Good, very good. Good, right? Then do it again? Bao Sanli asked with a glare. No, don't. Gujianchao quickly refused. Is that right? Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. Think about it. If you raped my girl, she would be very unhappy. Bao Sanli sneered. Yes, I got it. I won't dare to do it again next time. Gujianchao nodded quickly, but he thought in his heart, can a man and a woman be the same? But he didn't dare to say this. Hey, the good is over. Let's talk about business. How about you raping my girl? Bao Sanli asked. So, wasn't it just now? Gujianchao was shocked. It turned out that this matter wasn't over yet. Nonsense, of course it's not over yet. How can there be such a good thing? Bao Sanli sneered. Which hand did you use to touch Xiao Jiao? Left hand. Gujianchao said with trepidation. Bao Sanli snorted. I touched it with my right hand. Gu Jianchao quickly changed his words. Right hand? Bao Sanli asked. I touched it with both hands. Gu Jianchao didn't dare to hide anything. After all, this kind of thing could be known as long as he asked Xiao Jiao. Hee, since you admitted it, then leave your left and right hand. Bao Sanli smiled and said, I'll leave your dog life for now. It's a good thing for you. It can't be. Brother Bao, my hand is still useful. How can I work if you cut it off? Gu Jianchao said with a sad face. But which is more important, your hand or your life? You choose yourself. Do you want your hand or your life? Bao Sanli didn't care about that. Of course I want both. Gu Jianchao whispered. Motherfucker, why are you so hesitant? Hey, someone come and knock him out. Put him in a sack and throw him into the sea to feed the fish. Bao Sanli said to the underling behind him. Yes, brother Bao. The underling said as he came over to do it. Don't. I want my life. I want my life. I don't want my hand. Gu Jianchao knew that he had to give up one thing or else he would lose everything. You should have said so earlier. But it's too late now. I changed my mind. Feed him to the fish. Bao Sanli sneered. No. You cut off my hand. I beg you, brother Bao. I don't want to die. Gu Jianchao was so scared that his snot and tears were flowing. He almost peed in his pants. Dang. There was a knock on the door. What's the matter? Bao Sanli shouted at the door. Brother Bao, a friend of yours came to see you. Do you want to let him in? The underling who knocked on the door said. Friend? Who is it? Bao Sanli asked. It's Yang Ming, brother Yang. The underling at the door said. Chapter 165. Gu Jianchao was almost scared to death. When he heard the name Yang Ming, he was stunned. Why is it so familiar? Is it that Yang Ming? But he quickly denied this idea. Yang Ming was just a little punk. How could he know the underworld boss? Let him in. Bao Sanli said. The door of the lounge was pushed open. Yang Ming walked in casually. Brother Bao, what are you doing? Brother Yang, welcome. It's nothing. An idiot is flirting with my girl. I'm going to throw him into the sea. Bao Sanli smiled. Oh, then you quickly get rid of this guy. We haven't seen each other for a long time. We have to get together later. Yang Ming said. That's right. Right, brother Yang, why are you free to come here today? Bao Sanli asked. Well, my cousin and my girlfriend forced me to come here to meet a client. Yang Ming said, once I'm done, I'll come here to take a look. So that's the case. Bao Sanli nodded and then said to the underlings around him, you guys quickly get rid of this kid. Don't ruin my and brother Yang's mood. At this time, Gu Jianchao had already determined that the person who came was Yang Ming, who he just had a meal with. He didn't care if he had any conflicts with Yang Ming. Now it was more important to save his life. The key was that this Yang Ming seemed to have a high status. Even brother Bao, the underworld boss, called him brother Yang. So Gu Jianchao quickly shouted, Yang Ming, save me. Motherfucker, how can you call brother Yang's name? An underling flew up and kicked Gu Jianchao's butt. Ouch. Gu Jianchao was in so much pain that his tears almost flew out. Yang Ming pretended to be surprised and squatted down. Then he opened his eyes exaggeratedly. Isn't this Vice President Gu? Why are you here? Brother Yang, save me. Gu Jianchao didn't dare to call his name. I don't want to die. Die? Brother Leopard, what's going on? Yang Ming asked in confusion. Hurry up and release Vice President Gu. He is a friend of my girlfriend and my cousin. Brother Yang, you better not worry about this matter. This guy tried to rape my girl. It's not a small matter. If I let him go, Bao Sanli, will lose a lot of face in the underworld. Bao Sanli said with a dignified expression. Brother Leopard, is there no room for negotiation? Can't you give me some face? Yang Ming asked tentatively. Brother Yang, you are in this underworld. You should understand that we value face the most in this underworld. This little brat is not related to you. You have to find a reason to stand up for him, right? Bao Sanli's words were very reasonable. Even if you want to protect people, you have to have a reason, right? He is my underling. Yang Ming hesitated and said, Yes. I am brother Yang's underling. Brother Leopard, please give face to brother Yang and let me go. Gu Jianchao heard Yang Ming pleading for him. He was so excited that he didn't know what to do. Yang Ming recognized him as an underling. That was undoubtedly the sound of nature. Is that so? Bao Sanli glanced at Gu Jianchao. Yes, actually I am Brother Yang's underling. Follower. Gu Jianchao said. And then why didn't you say so earlier? Bao Sanli asked. I was afraid of smearing Brother Yang's face. I didn't dare to say it. Gu Jianchao's reaction was fast enough. It was reasonable. Well, today I will give face to Brother Yang. I will temporarily put your life in your hands. Bao Sanli hesitated and said, however, you have to remember that you are now Brother Yang's underling. I don't want to and I don't dare to touch you. But if one day Brother Yang doesn't want you, then that day will be your death anniversary. Yes. I will be Brother Yang's underling for a lifetime. Brother Leopard, you can rest assured. I will never do anything wrong to Brother Yang again. Gu Jianchao said quickly. Okay, but I have already recorded what happened just now. This time Brother Yang is covering for you, so I will temporarily seal it. This is also a restriction for you. If you do something to discredit Brother Yang in the future, I will publicize it. Yang Ming said. Brother Yang, you are not the type of person who would dare to do such a thing. I don't think any company can accept that their employee is a brokeback, right? Bao Sanli threatened. I don't dare. I, Gu Jianchao, will follow Brother Yang and Brother Leopard's lead in the future. I won't dare to go against them. Gu Jianchao promised. Okay, then I will let you go this time. As the saying goes, it is better to squash enmity than to keep it alive. This time I will let it go. You are a vice president, right? I may need your help in the future. Bao Sanli said. Brother Leopard, you can rest assured. In the future you can ask me to do anything you want. Gu Jianchao's words were sincere. He didn't dare to say no. Not only was his life in the hands of others, but the evidence in the hands of others was enough to kill him. Okay, you hurry up and leave. Don't be an eyesore here. Brother Yang and I still need to talk about the old days. Bao Sanli waved his hand impatiently and drove Gu Jianchao out. After Gu Jianchao left, Yang Ming and Bao Sanli looked at each other and smiled. Brother Yang, you are so sarcastic. This time this guy with the surname Gu will definitely be grateful to you. In the future he won't dare to not listen to your words. Bao Sanli revealed a sinister smile. Wasn't it all thanks to Brother Leopard's help? Yang Ming also smiled. We are brothers. Why are you saying so many foreign words? Bao Sanli waved his hand. Sco. Delay is also here. The four of us should have a good drink. At this point Yang Ming had buried a nail beside Wang Jitao and his son. This idea was completely thought of when he saw Bao Sanli. President Hua's words gave him a lot of inspiration. That was to grasp a person's weakness. Then this person would have no choice but to listen to his words. Gu Jianchao was a time bomb that Yang Ming buried in the Xiongfeng group. Although it might not be useful now, it would definitely be useful in the future. He wasn't afraid that Gu Jianchao would betray him. For a timid person like him, his life and future were the most important. At around 8 p.m., Yang Ming walked out of the nightless club. He took out his phone and looked at it. The phone call in the bathroom was actually from Lan Ling. Yang Ming suddenly shivered. Voodoo. Yang Ming actually forgot that he had a voodoo in his body. Just now Sun Jianai. Impulsive was the devil. Would the voodoo in my body be triggered because of this? Yang Ming returned Lan Ling's call with fear. Yang Ming, where are you? I miss you. Why didn't you pick up the phone just now? Lan Ling's voice didn't sound wrong. This made Yang Ming feel relieved. I was socializing outside just now. I didn't hear it. Yang Ming explained. Oh, are you coming to see me tomorrow? Lan Ling said coquettishly, I just finished that. I don't need to wear a condom. I'll go tomorrow. I can't go today. It's too late. Have to go home. Yang Ming was tempted by Lan Ling. Okay, then I'll hang up. I miss you. Lan Ling kissed Yang Ming on the other end of the phone and hung up the phone. Yang Ming sighed. Did I betray Lan Ling? Anyway, what's done is done. It's useless to regret. I'll think about it when the time comes. Yang Ming comforted himself and stopped thinking about this matter. When he returned home, Yang Ming saw that his father's face wasn't looking good. Yang Ming felt strange. Dad, what's wrong with you? I asked you to go to your cousin to ask for learning methods. Why didn't you accept it humbly? Yang Dehai said with some anger, Big Ming, you're not young anymore. It's right for your cousin to bring you to see the society. How can you do things your own way and be so careless? Dad, I have a sense of propriety. Was it my cousin who called to complain? Yang Ming was a little angry. It must be Yang Li who saw that she didn't humiliate him today, so she called to complain. AI Big Ming, at least your cousin has entered the society. What she said should be for your own good. Yang Dahai sighed. That I know. You don't have to worry about it. I can handle my own things. My cousin's way of doing things really doesn't suit me. You see, even without my cousin's way of doing things, I'm still working very well at Uncle Zhang's. Yang Ming said. That's true. Well, I won't talk about you anymore. Yang Dahai shook his head. You're going to college soon. You should buy some clothes on the street tomorrow. Look at your clothes. They're all student clothes. They're not suitable for college students. Buy clothes. Yang Ming was stunned. What clothes? Aren't college students still students? How can that be? Mother Yang also came over and said, a big child should act like a big child. You're in a relationship. How can you wear children's clothes? Tomorrow you go with Chen Mengyan. I'll give you the money later. Chapter 166. When Yang Ming heard his mother's words, he broke into a sweat. Am I that unbearable? However, when he recalled the way Sun Jie looked at him as if she was looking at a younger brother, Yang Ming felt that he was really behind the times. This was also the reason why Gu Jianchao didn't pay attention to Yang Ming before today. A street punk dressed like a student. How badass could he be? But why did Mom suddenly mention Chen Mengyan? Yang Ming had an appointment with Lan Ling tomorrow. Mom, Chen Mengyan might not be free tomorrow. Let's talk about it another day. Yang Ming said. She's free. Why wouldn't she be free? I have already talked to her. Mother Yang said with a smile. Talk to? What do you mean? Yang Ming was a bit inexplicable. Just now Chen Mengyan called home to look for you. Then I asked her if she was free tomorrow. She told me that she was free. Mother Yang said. Oh my god. Yang Ming was a bit dumbfounded. It seems that Mom really wants to matchmake me and Chen Mengyan. But I still have something to do tomorrow. Yang Ming was helpless. He had to call back Chen Mengyan. It wasn't that he didn't want to go out with Chen Mengyan. On the contrary, he was particularly happy. It was just that he didn't know how to handle the relationship between her and Lan Ling. Life is really like a dream. A few months ago he could only fantasize about the campus belle Mengyan from afar. Now it had become a situation where he was holding a girl on both sides. He was worried about the relationship between the beauties. Hello. Chen Mengyan's voice came from the other side of the phone. At this moment, Chen Mengyan was watching TV in the living room at home. The phone was next to her. When she saw that the caller ID was Yang Ming's number, she quickly picked it up. "Main, I am Yang Ming." Yang Ming put away his thoughts and said. "And I know." Chen Mengyan of course knew that it was Yang Ming. Otherwise she wouldn't simply say hello. She was still very polite. When she answered the phone she would add hello. That tomorrow. Yang Ming really didn't know what reason to find to reject Chen Mengyan. "I'm fine. Shall we meet at the school gate?" Chen Mengyan thought that Yang Ming was too shy to ask her out, so she said it first. Yang Ming didn't expect that his hesitation would lead to such a result. "Forget it. I'll accompany Chen Mengyan during the day and go to Lan Ling's place at night." "Alright, I'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow at the entrance of number 4 high school." Since he had decided, Yang Ming would try to set the time earlier so that he could go to Lan Ling's place earlier. "Okay, see you there." Chen Mengyan hung up the phone in a sweet mood. She was looking forward to tomorrow's date. After hanging up the phone, Yang Ming went back to his room. He first copied Gu Jianchao's video into his computer. Then he did the same splitting and compressing process and sent it to a few mailboxes. Yang Ming looked at his mailboxes and found it funny. In just a month he had already grasped the shortcomings of 3 people. After doing all this, Yang Ming put the letter of guarantee at the bottom of the drawer. In fact, this thing wasn't very useful. The chances of Gu Jianchao betraying him in the future should be very small. After everything was done, he sent a short message to Lan Ling. He told her that he might be late tomorrow. After a while Lan Ling replied. She told Yang Ming that if he had something to do he should do it first. She wasn't in a hurry. This made Yang Ming feel very ashamed. He actually went on a date with Chen Mengyan behind Lan Ling's back. He didn't want to lie to Lan Ling, but he couldn't imagine what would happen if Lan Ling found out about this. He didn't want to hurt Lan Ling. This little girl was too pitiful. In this world he was her only family left. Yang Ming couldn't bear to make her sad again. After playing Do Diju with wild female teacher for a while, Zhang Bin sent him a message. He told him that his driver's license was issued and that he had to collect it tomorrow. Yang Ming had a headache. Why did it have to be tomorrow? Luckily he could collect it on his behalf. After knowing that Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan were going on a date tomorrow, Zhang Bin volunteered to take on this job. There's no true love in this world. Let's call it a day. I have something to do tomorrow morning. I'll play with you another day. Wild female teacher. Isn't tomorrow the weekend? What's the matter? There's no true love in this world. Can't you have something on the weekend? You can go shopping, visit your relatives, and date your girlfriend. What can't you do? Wild female teacher. TV. Definitely not to accompany your girlfriend. There's no true love in this world. Why not? Wild female teacher. Your name is There's no true love in this world. It means that you don't believe in love at all. There's no true love in this world. Damn, that's just an online name. Are you really wild female teacher? I'm not going to talk nonsense with you anymore. I'm going offline. Wild female teacher. 8888. The next morning, Yang Ming arrived at the entrance of number 4 high school on time. Qin Mengyan hadn't arrived yet. After waiting for about 3 minutes, Qin Mengyan jumped out of a taxi and ran to Yang Ming. She said embarrassedly, I've been sleeping in during the holidays. I almost didn't wake up. She stuck out her tongue cutely. It's okay. I just arrived. There's still a few minutes before 8. We're both early. Yang Ming smiled. You know how to talk. Qin Mengyan happily held Yang Ming's arm. Now they didn't need to hide anything even at the entrance of the school. After all, they had reached the age where they could legally date. It was like this in China. There was a clear dividing line between high school and university. If you date in high school, you'll be accused of not doing your job properly and falling in love early. Even if you're 18 years old, you won't be spared. But if you've just entered university, or even just a prospective university student, dating at this time will become reasonable and legal in the eyes of parents and teachers. This was the current situation of education and dating. Although many people knew that it was unreasonable, no one dared to stand up and criticize this ethics. It was also because of this that Yang Ming and Xia's short relationship that hadn't started yet was collectively killed by the teachers and parents. When people from that age look back, they'll realize that in fact as long as middle school students fall in love well, it won't have any impact on their studies. Of course, this refers to the psychological scale, not the scale of the relationship between two people. Two people can hug, be affectionate, and even do some things that they love. This isn't the main problem. The main problem is that two people should have a common goal to strive for. They can't just be greedy for enjoyment. Therefore, positive early love should be encouraged and negative early love should be discouraged. Yang Ming and Xiao belong to the positive type. This is because the two of them talked about problems in their studies most of the time. Some open-minded teachers may turn a blind eye to it, but some like Wu Qiren will pursue it to the end. Qin Mengyan and Yang Ming's relationship is also on the verge of early love. The homeroom teacher, Teacher Li, isn't a fool. Maybe she can see some clues. But Yang Ming's grades are rapidly improving, so Teacher Li doesn't care about these things. Teacher Li belongs to the more open-minded type. So far Yang Ming is only grateful to two teachers. One is Teacher Li. The scene of her quarrel with Director Jean in the principal's office over Yang Ming's matter is still vivid in Yang Ming's mind. Yang Ming is a person who knows how to repay kindness. He decided to pay a visit to Teacher Li every year in the future. The other is Zhao Ying, who is both a teacher and a friend. Yang Ming is definitely not only grateful to her, but also mixed with a kind of complicated feelings. Yang Ming himself is not clear about his specific feelings for Zhao Ying. But if there is a multiple-choice question in front of him, say, if Zhao Ying and Qin Mengyan fall into the water at the same time, who would he save first? Yang Ming is really difficult to answer. He doesn't know. If he wants to find out the reason, then he can only save the one who is closest to the water first. It's just that I haven't seen Zhao Ying for a long time. I don't know if she is doing well. Is that Jean Gang still harassing her? Thinking of Jean Gang, Yang Ming feels that it is necessary to find a chance to warn this brat to make him stop. That's right, there is also that Jean Shisen. Now that Yang Ming has graduated, he can ignore this teaching director. Number 4 high school is very close to the commercial street. This is also the reason why the two agreed to meet here. It is about a 10-minute walk from here. Mengyan, you should buy a cell phone, right? Yang Ming looked at the telecommunications store in front of him and suddenly thought of a very important question. He doesn't want to be questioned by Qin Mengyan's parents every time he looks for her. Buy a cell phone? Why? I don't need one now. Chen Mengyan asked strangely. Yang Ming of course can't say that he is afraid of being questioned by her parents when he calls her, so he explained, school is about to start. It is inconvenient to not have a cell phone in university. Besides, we can text at night. Then, let's buy one. Cell phones are not too expensive now. Chen Mengyan originally thought that cell phones are dispensable. Now that she heard Yang Ming say it, she feels that she should buy one. Not for anything else but for two people to text. Chapter 167. The two of them entered a telecommunications store, and the salesperson at the entrance shoved posters into their hands. Association promotion. Look, Sony Ericsson has a special price. Jean Li's latest mobile phone with navigation. Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan smiled at each other. Now was the time for college students to start school. Various manufacturers wouldn't let go of this good opportunity for promotion. What do you want to buy? Yang Ming asked while holding the poster. I don't care. Why don't we buy a cheap one first? Just the same as yours? Asked Chen Mengyan. In fact, Chen Mengyan didn't bring much money. She only took 500 yuan today. She wanted to buy 2 pieces of clothing. She didn't intend to buy a mobile phone. How can that be? Buy a better one with a camera and MP4? Yang Ming knew that the mobile phone was a symbol of identity in school. If you had a broken mobile phone, others wouldn't say it on the surface, but they would definitely look down on you in their heart. There were even people like his cousin Yang Li who directly despised others. Yang Ming was thick-skinned. He liked to do things his own way. He didn't care about other people's thoughts. However, Chen Mengyan was a little girl. Her face was thinner. He was different from him. Especially in this era where materialism was rampant, he didn't want Chen Mengyan to be looked down upon by others. Some people might say that Yang Ming was worrying about nothing, but the current social atmosphere was indeed so. No, I don't need it. Besides, I want to use the same one as you. Is this okay? Chen Mengyan shook her head and said. Okay then. Yang Ming was happy when he heard this sentence. He took Chen Mengyan's hand and went to the Nokia counter. The salesperson saw that Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan were both dressed as students, so he directly recommended a few low-cost mobile phones. One of them was the 1200. The mobile phones in Songjiang were cheaper than those in Yunnan. This 1200 was only 218 yuan. It also came with a 30 yuan mobile top-up card. In other words, Chen Mengyan had no choice but to apply for a mobile phone number. However, Yang Ming was a mobile player, so the two of them could join the student group and enjoy the benefits of fighting each other. Chen Mengyan picked a white hairpin. When it was time to pay, Yang Ming paid for it directly. Chen Mengyan slightly frowned. She didn't have the happy expression she had when Yang Ming bought her a hairpin last time. After testing the phone, Chen Mengyan threw the packaging into her backpack and put the phone in her pocket. What's wrong? Ma'am, why are you a little unhappy? Yang Ming also felt that something was wrong with Chen Mengyan. Yang Ming, what's the relationship between us? Chen Mengyan asked hesitantly. What does it matter? Yang Ming was stunned. Could it be that Chen Mengyan felt that with the relationship between the two of them, she couldn't accept such a valuable gift? The two of us are good friends? Yang Ming stuttered and probed. Yang Ming. Chen Mengyan was so angry that she rolled her eyes at him. Are you deliberately making me angry? Mengyan, if you have something to say, just say it. Yang Ming didn't know what Chen Mengyan meant, so he asked directly. Well, Yang Ming, let me ask you. We have been classmates for so many years. Who doesn't know who? Chen Mengyan said sternly, I know very well what your family conditions are like. I don't need to say anything about our current relationship. You should understand it. Do you still need to be like this? What about me? Yang Ming was a little speechless. He felt inexplicable listening to Chen Mengyan's words. What I mean is that we don't need to be so distant. I don't want you to take your parents' money and spend it extravagantly. Chen Mengyan said with a serious expression, I'm not the kind of girl who despises the poor and favors the rich. I hope you can understand this. Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry after listening, but his heart was very touched. Chen Mengyan's words made Yang Ming feel that it was his blessing to be able to find such a good girl. Chen Mengyan thought that his current money was still spent by his parents, so she said this. Yang Ming felt that it was necessary to tell Chen Mengyan that he already had financial strength. Mengyan, the money to buy your phone wasn't from my parents. You misunderstood. Yang Ming explained, In fact, I have been working during the holidays. This is also the reason why I am busy during this time. Otherwise, I would often ask you out. Qin Mengyan was stunned and said, "Work? Are you serious?" During this time, Qin Mengyan had already untied the knot in her heart and was ready to be with Yang Ming wholeheartedly. However, Yang Ming wasn't as proactive as before when he was in school. She had to call him first. This made Qin Mengyan somewhat annoyed. Now that she listened to Yang Ming's explanation, she was relieved. If he was really working, then it seemed that she had wronged him. Yang Ming directly attributed the reason why he didn't have time to accompany Qin Mengyan to working. Yang Ming himself felt that it was a bit shameless, but he had to do it. Of course it's true. Yang Ming said, "Didn't Zhang Bin and I go to Yunnan some time ago? I found that I have a very good ability to identify jade. So after I came back, Uncle Zhang invited me to work in his company. I earned more than 8,000 yuan last month." Yang Ming said the set of excuses that he told his parents. What? More than 8,000? Qin Mengyan was also very surprised. Why is it so much? 3,000 yuan is the basic salary and 5,000 yuan is the bonus. I gave a part to my parents. Don't think that lovers go to Chanel or Armani when they go out. That was only a YY novel or a place where some very rich people go. Most of the students would still choose casual clothing stores like Tangshi, Senma, Jeeves, and Benito, which were popular among the commoners. Okay. Yang Ming was ready to buy 2 pieces of clothing. "Yang Ming, what do you think of that?" Qin Mengyan suddenly asked. Yang Ming looked in the direction of Qin Mengyan's finger. It turned out to be a couple's t-shirt. It was the kind that was more cute. Not bad. Do you want to try it? Chapter 168. Yang Ming asked the salesperson to get a couple t-shirt with the words, "China Heart," on it to support the Olympics. Then he and Qin Mengyan went into the fitting room. Needless to say, the two of them were quite compatible. So Yang Ming paid the money directly. The two of them walked out of the store wearing the t-shirt. "Miss Zhao?" Qin Mengyan was stunned when she saw the person walking toward her. "Qin Mengyan, Yang Ming?" Zhao Ying was also slightly stunned. "The two of you?" Zhao Ying saw Qin Mengyan and Yang Ming wearing matching outfits. She felt bitter in her heart. Even a fool could see what was going on. "Sister Ying, the university is about to start. Mengyan and I came out to buy some clothes. Jin Gang?" Yang Ming saw Jin Gang following behind Zhao Ying. He suddenly felt uncomfortable in his heart. It was reasonable to say that it was impossible for him and Zhao Ying to be together. However, when he saw her walking with Jin Gang, he still felt jealous in his heart. This wasn't because Jin Gang was a jerk. Yang Ming was very jealous of him. If it were other people, Yang Ming would still feel this way. Men were like this. They always ate what was in front of them and looked at what was in the pot. It was best to even take what was in other people's bowl for themselves. But now, seeing Jin Gang following behind Zhao Ying, this feeling was stronger. "Teacher Jin is also here?" Yang Ming snorted twice with a fake smile. "It's Yang Ming." Hello. Jin Gang's face changed. He didn't expect to meet this god of plague here. "Teacher Jin, where's my bicycle?" Yang Ming glanced at Jin Gang and asked calmly. Qin Mengyan and Zhao Ying were both stunned. They did not understand what Yang Ming meant. However, Jin Gang understood. He was worried. "Why do you still remember this? Isn't it just a bicycle? Do you have to care about me the moment we meet? Last time, you cheated me out of so much money and asked me to treat you, but I didn't say anything. I didn't dare to say anything. Forget it, next time I'll avoid you as far as I can." "Well, next time I'll definitely bring it for you next time," Jin Gang said perfunctorily. How could Yang Ming not understand? But he didn't want a bicycle at all. The current Yang Ming was not the same as before. He could even afford a car, let alone a bicycle. Moreover, Yang Ming was getting a driver's license in preparation for buying a car. "Teacher Jean, don't forget next time," Yang Ming said faintly. Then he looked at Zhao Ying and said bitterly, "Sister Ying, you guys go ahead. Mengyan and I will leave first." Yang Ming did not know what the relationship between Zhao Ying and Jin Gang was, but from the fact that they went shopping together, he guessed that their relationship might have improved. Yang Ming shook his head self-deprecatingly. He couldn't help but scold himself for being shameless. "I have Lan Ling and now I have Qin Mengyan. Why am I still thinking about Sister Ying?" Yang Ming. Zhao Ying wanted to say something, but Yang Ming had already turned and left. In fact, it wasn't that Yang Ming didn't want to say more to Zhao Ying, but he couldn't. Some words couldn't be said in front of Qin Mengyan and Jin Gang. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself if he spoke too much. It was better to find an excuse and leave quickly. When there was a chance in the future, he would ask Zhao Ying out alone and explain it clearly. Yang Ming. Qin Mengyan was also a bit strange. Why was Yang Ming so rude today? Zhao Ying was his teacher and she was also his godsister. How could he have such an attitude? However, she association with Yang Ming and Jin Gang's words. Her intuition told her that Yang Ming and Jin Gang seemed to have a conflict, so she naturally blamed all of this on Jin Gang. Yang Ming left because he didn't want to see Jin Gang. I'm sorry, Miss Zhao. Yang Ming is like this. He's very careless. Qin Mengyan explained embarrassedly. Originally, this was a reasonable and polite sentence, but it was not the case in Zhao Ying's ears. Qin Mengyan's explanation for Yang Ming was like what couples would say when they were exonerating each other. It was like Qin Mengyan could make decisions for Yang Ming. Zhao Ying's face darkened. She said, "It's fine." Then she left dejectedly. Qin Mengyan was very puzzled. Why were the siblings so baffled? It wasn't that Qin Mengyan wasn't sensitive, but Qin Mengyan simply didn't think of the relationship between Yang Ming and Zhao Ying in other places. Zhao Ying was Yang Ming's teacher and his godsister. Although Zhao Ying was very beautiful, Qin Mengyan didn't feel threatened. So she didn't suspect anything. She smiled apologetically to Zhao Ying and chased after Yang Ming. Zhao Ying, your relationship with Yang Ming isn't normal. After Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan left, Jin Gang asked tentatively. Zhao Ying was shocked. Could it be that Jin Gang saw something? Now the school was competing for a job. If Jin Gang saw something and spread it around, she might even lose her job. Although the relationship between a teacher and a student wasn't a big deal, it was very serious in the eyes of the school leaders. In addition, Jin Gang and Yang Ming had a conflict, and his pursuit of her was rejected. It was inevitable that he would hold a grudge. So she quickly explained, "No, nothing. I'm his godsister." Jin Gang thought, "Godsister? Looking at your blushing face, I'm afraid that you will become a godsister soon." I don't know if I still have hope, but the situation is a bit bleak. Zhao Ying looked at Jin Gang's strange expression. She thought, could it be that he saw something? She quickly added, "It's just that our relationship is better." Jin Gang smiled bitterly. "Are you afraid that I'll talk nonsense? Do I dare? I don't want to die yet. If Yang Ming knew that I was talking nonsense, it would be strange if he didn't break my legs. Nothing. In fact, I also want to have a good relationship with the students. I'm quite envious of you." Jin Gang had to say, "Let's go. We still have to look at the clothes. The school uniform not only has to be cheap but the quality has to be about the same." Zhao Ying and Jin Gang were sent by the school. Zhao Ying represented the first year of high school, and Jin Gang represented the sports team. Originally, this matter should be handled by the leader of the school year, Teacher Li Huihua. But she was old and her vision was older, so she recommended the youngest Zhao Ying to look at the clothes. However, Yang Ming misunderstood that Zhao Ying and Jin Gang were on a date, so he was depressed. Zhao Ying didn't misunderstand. Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan were indeed on a date. Both of them were very depressed. After they separated, they walked in different directions and brushed past each other. "Yang Ming, do you have a conflict with Teacher Jin?" Qin Mengyan asked. "Conflict? It's more than just a conflict." Yang Ming sneered. He didn't need to hide from Qin Mengyan, so he told Qin Mengyan about how Jin Gang found someone to pretend to be a robber and added fuel to the fire after Qin Afu's complaint. "He's so hateful." Qin Mengyan was very indignant after listening. How can this kind of person be a teacher? He should be fired. In fact, people like Jin Gang exist in all walks of life. It is often this kind of black sheep that makes the reputation of these industries bad. Yang Ming shook his head. For example, in the medical industry, some doctors ask for a red packet from the patient's family, so people say that the hospital is too evil. But this is only what we see. There are still many good doctors who don't see it. The education industry is the same. Teacher Li and Sister Ying are very good teachers. And you are right. Qin Mengyan agreed. The so-called good news doesn't leave the door, but bad news travels 1,000 miles. When Yang Ming talked about how he tricked Jin Gang to heavenly earth and made him pay a high price, Qin Mengyan laughed. "Yang Ming, why are you so bad? So much money. Isn't it to let Jin Gang sell his blood? Even if he sells his blood, he needs someone to want it." He. Yang Ming temporarily forgot about Zhao Ying. After all, the best way to comfort the lovelorn trauma was to be with another person you like. Robbery. Suddenly a girl's scream came. Yang Ming looked up. A man wearing sunglasses ran from the agricultural bank to this side. As he ran, he threatened loudly, "If you don't want to die, quickly get out of my way." Obviously this man was the robber. The people on the side of the road were very obedient. After being shouted by the man in sunglasses, they all moved to the sides. After all, robbing wasn't something that ordinary people could do anything about. It had become a modern people's motto to not care about things that didn't concern them. Children's parents would tell their children from an early age to not meddle in other people's business outside. Don't stand up for things that didn't concern them. Therefore, this was the reason why bad people were so rampant now. After all, the police force was limited. It was impossible to be everywhere. Yang Ming was in a bad mood. He didn't want to care about this, but the man in sunglasses ran to Yang Ming's side. Chapter 169. Get out of the way. The man in sunglasses yelled as he ran. Yang Ming frowned and raised his head. He looked coldly at the man in sunglasses who was running over and stood motionless. The man in sunglasses also saw Yang Ming in front of him. When he saw that he didn't dodge like the others, he was stunned. Although he had been robbing for a while and there were few people who dared to be nosy, it didn't mean that there weren't any. Seeing Yang Ming, who was more than 180 centimeters tall, with dark skin and a burly figure standing there staring at him, the man in sunglasses was a little scared. He didn't dare to confront Yang Ming directly. When he reached Yang Ming, he could only turn a corner. Yang Ming didn't want to be nosy because of his bad mood, but some people didn't think so. For example, teacher Jean Gang thought that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to show off in front of Zhao Ying. He didn't think that Yang Ming had any charm that could attract Zhao Ying. After all, the age gap between them was there. Jean Gang thought that the only thing that could make Zhao Ying moved was when he planned the robbery and Yang Ming saved the damsel in distress. Therefore, Jean Gang thought that Zhao Ying liked a man with a strong sense of justice. Only such a man could bring a sense of security. This was actually not wrong. Which woman didn't like a man who could bring her a sense of security? However, there was a price to pay for bringing a sense of security. Seeing that someone was robbing, Jean Gang felt that his chance had come. This was a heaven-sent opportunity. How could he, who practiced sports, not be able to deal with this little tramp? The man in sunglasses didn't put Jean Gang in his eyes. Although Jean Gang practiced sports, he was too thin. He also had a powdered face. At first glance, he looked like a pretty boy. He belonged to the kind of softy who was easy to bully. Just now, he couldn't provoke the fierce man Yang Ming, but couldn't he provoke this pretty boy? The sunglasses man was furious. Damn it, why was it so bad today? He had met so many blind people. Stop right there. King Kong shouted in an awe-inspiring manner. What are you going to do? Zhao Ying saw Jean Gang's posture and quickly asked. Zhao Ying was still a relatively weak girl. She didn't like to cause trouble, which could be seen from several times when she was in danger with Yang Ming. Her original intention was to avoid as much as possible. We still have official business to do. Jean Gang flipped his hair confidently, looking like a hero from the water margin. He said, roar when you see injustice and take action when it's time to take action. After saying this, Jean Gang thought that Zhao Ying would be so excited that stars would appear in her eyes. Unexpectedly, Zhao Ying frowned. As a teacher, Zhao Ying didn't advocate bravery. She would teach students to quickly call the police when they encountered such a situation, but she didn't recommend them to take the risk. Jean Gang didn't notice the dissatisfaction in Zhao Ying's eyes. When he saw Zhao Ying frown, he thought that she was worried about him, so Jean Gang became even more hot-blooded and rushed toward the sunglasses man. The sunglasses man was obviously not a softy. These days there was no good in robbing. Especially those like the sunglasses man who ran away after robbing, their stamina was better than the average sports athlete. Seeing Jean Gang coming over, the sunglasses man didn't stop at all. He aimed at Jean Gang's genitals and kicked him directly. Jean Gang didn't notice at first. He wanted to give the sunglasses man a hook, but suddenly, a huge pain came from his lower body. It was so painful that he bent down and couldn't even make a sound. Zhao Ying saw that Jean Gang was beaten, but she couldn't ignore it. Although she didn't like Jean Gang's character, the two of them were colleagues and came out together. So Zhao Ying still quickly dissuaded, okay, don't hit. I'm going to call the police. The sunglasses man obviously showed strong dissatisfaction that someone dared to meddle in other people's business. After Jean Gang squatted on the ground, he still crazily hit Jean Gang's right face with his knee. "Little girl, don't fucking meddle in other people's business. If you do, I will beat you up too." The sunglasses man was obviously angry to a certain extent. As he spoke, he began to push Xiao Ying. "Yang Ming, you go and pull Miss Xiao away. I have already called the police." Qin Mengyan took out the mobile phone she just bought and dialed the police number. Yang Ming could ignore Jean Gang, but he couldn't ignore Xiao Ying. Jean Gang deserved to be beaten to death, but Xiao Ying, Yang Ming couldn't bear to let her suffer a little injury. Without Qin Mengyan's words, Yang Ming had already walked toward the sunglasses man. "Motherfucker, I have already let you go once. You actually pointed at my sister Ying and wanted to beat her? Then I'm sorry, I can only beat you first." Yang Ming grabbed the sunglasses man's hair and lifted him up. "Do you want to die?" The sunglasses man was enjoying using his knee to hit the ground. Suddenly he felt his body was light and his feet were off the ground. Then there was a pain in his scalp that was about to explode. It was like being torn apart. "Let go!" the sunglasses man shouted at the top of his lungs. He felt that if he wasn't put down, his scalp would be removed. Yang Ming kicked the sunglasses man's butt, causing him to tumble on the ground. He covered his head and rolled around. "Sister Ying, are you okay?" Yang Ming asked with concern. "No. I'm fine." "Jean Gang, Zhao Ying asked with concern. Looking at Jean Gang kneeling on the ground, it was quite scary. Yang Ming saw that Zhao Ying was actually concerned about Jean Gang. His heart was sour and he said coldly, "He won't die. He doesn't have the strength, yet he still wants to show off. He is simply an idiot." When Qin Mengyan called the police reception center had already received calls from other people. They told Qin Mengyan that they had already sent someone over. Sure enough, not long after, a police car drove over. Two policemen got out of the car and questioned what had just happened. Yang Ming, Zhao Ying, and Qin Mengyan, as witnesses and parties, were naturally the main targets of questioning. However, Jean Gang was injured. One of the policemen first contacted the ambulance, and then Zhao Ying accompanied Jean Gang to the hospital. Only Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan were left. Yang Ming roughly explained what had just happened. The surrounding people also saw that it was the sunglasses man who robbed, so Yang Ming naturally became a good Samaritan. "Whose money is this?" A policeman took out a stack of notes from the sunglasses man's pocket. It was about 1,000 yuan. He held it in his hand and asked the crowd. Seeing that no one answered, the policeman frowned. The current situation was that the police hoped that the victim could stand up. But the reality was often not so. Many victims were afraid that the robber would remember their appearance and retaliate. They would rather not have the money than not show up. "This is my own money. What do you want to do? The police can just arrest anyone." The sunglasses man saw that no one answered and he was proud, so he shouted that he was wronged. Yang Ming also frowned and didn't know what to do. At this time, a thin girl in white squeezed out from the crowd and ran to the police. She gasped and said, "It's me. He robbed my money." In the past month, Lin Jiyun had been tutoring junior high school students and earned more than 1,000 yuan. Today was the day her father was discharged from the hospital. She was going to buy a new set of clothes for her father. She didn't expect that when she just withdrew 1,000 yuan from the ATM at the bank entrance, she was robbed by a man wearing sunglasses. Lin Jiyun wanted to chase, but she couldn't catch up. He was a girl. She didn't run as fast as a man, let alone a professional robber. After chasing for a short distance, Lin Jiyun was so tired that she couldn't catch her breath. When she rushed over, she just happened to hear the police questioning, so she quickly separated the crowd and squeezed over. The sunglasses man was a little unwilling. He saw that the girl dared to admit that she was robbed, so he glared at her fiercely. He wanted to scare her and make her shut up. "Motherfucker, what are you doing?" Yang Ming saw that the sunglasses man still dared to wink, so he glared at him. "What are you doing?" The policeman next to him also noticed the sunglasses man's little action and warned, "You better be honest." When Yang Ming saw Lin Jiyun, he was stunned. "Isn't this the familiar girl I met on the bus last time? She is a victim. Maybe I can even know her name." Lin Jiyun saw that the sunglasses man was actually knocked down by Yang Ming. Then she couldn't help but sigh slightly. "Why do I always meet him? Is it really so difficult to forget the past?" When Lin Jiyun noticed Qin Mengyan, who was snuggling up to Yang Ming, she didn't know why, but there was a burst of jealousy in her heart. A girl's mind was so wonderful. Obviously, she didn't want to have anything to do with him in the future, but she didn't want to see him with other girls. This money is yours? The policeman's words interrupted Lin Jiyun's thoughts. Lin Jiyun nodded quickly. It's mine. It's a total of 1,000 yuan. Here is the withdrawal receipt. As Lin Jiyun said, she handed the receipt to the policeman who asked the question. Chapter 170. In the police station, the man in sunglasses quickly admitted the fact that he was a robber. Originally, he wanted to say a few harsh words such as "wait for me to get out." Wait and see. But before he could say anything, Yang Ming spoke first. You wait for me. After you get out, if I see you again, I will break your legs. Oh my God. The man in sunglasses was shocked. Who is this person? He is actually threatening me. But the man in sunglasses still fell for it. The strong were afraid of the strong. Now the man in sunglasses had this feeling. It was really difficult to retaliate against someone who could lift him up with one hand. So, the man in sunglasses obediently lowered his head and didn't dare to look at the person in front of him. Originally, Yang Ming wanted to ask for the victim's name, but the police said that the victim asked for confidentiality, so Yang Ming didn't ask anything. Qin Mengyan was still by his side, so Yang Ming couldn't ask further. After finishing the statement, he left with Qin Mengyan first. Are we considered good citizens? Out of the police station, Yang Ming asked with a smile. Hee, it's the second time. Qin Mengyan also smiled, but I don't want you to be so violent in the future. Look at the robber. His scalp was bruised by you. There was a big red patch. It was really scary. Haven't you heard of using violence to curb violence? If I didn't beat him, would he be honest? Yang Ming asked. That's true, but you should use less violence in the future. What if you can't beat him? Qin Mengyan complained. Can't beat him? Your husband was called Crazy Yang. There was no opponent. Yang Ming said proudly. Crazy Yang? That's a bad name. You have this nickname. Qin Mengyan sneered. Is it bad? Yang Ming sighed and shook his head faintly. Yeah, have you forgotten me? It's been so long and there's been no news from you. Have you forgotten what you said? What happened? Qin Mengyan sensed the change in Yang Ming's mood and carefully asked. Yang Ming, I heard that you were very good at your studies in junior high. Then, why did you become? Qin Mengyan didn't know how to describe it. She was a little embarrassed to answer his question in front of Yang Ming. Become depraved, right? Yang Ming sighed deeply. Become a bad student, right? That's not what I meant. I never meant to look down on you. Qin Mengyan quickly explained. Of course I know you don't have any other meaning. Otherwise, how could you become my little wife? Yang Ming laughed. Who is your little wife? Are you going to say it or not? Qin Mengyan was afraid that Yang Ming would say something embarrassing, so she quickly turned the topic back. Do you really want to know? Yang Ming looked at Qin Mengyan. But first, you can't be jealous. Jealous? Why would I be jealous? Tell me quickly. Once a woman's curiosity was aroused, she must get to the root of the problem. Yang Ming raised his head and fell into deep thought. He told the story of himself and Xia to Qin Mengyan. Yes, this matter had been in Yang Ming's heart for too long. It was like a knot in his heart. For so many years, Yang Ming didn't mention it to anyone. He couldn't mention this kind of thing to others. Li Dagong and the others only knew that Yang Ming went out to mingle because of relationship problems, but they didn't know the details. At this time, Yang Ming felt that the whole person was relaxed after talking to Qin Mengyan. What a pure relationship. After Qin Mengyan heard it, she couldn't help but think enviously. Is this the legendary childhood sweetheart? Although she and Yang Ming were also first loves, it was the love between adults. It was completely different from the memories of the young days. You still can't forget her? Qin Mengyan asked with some jealousy. Mengyan, I don't want to lie to you. I don't know if my feeling for Xia is love, but I often think of her. Yang Ming didn't want to lie to Qin Mengyan. There was no need to lie about this kind of thing. He didn't believe that Qin Mengyan would take this matter to heart. Although Qin Mengyan was a little uncomfortable, she wasn't petty enough to be angry with a little girl in Yang Ming's memory. After all, it was a thing of the past. After so many years, even if Yang Ming could see Xia again, it would have been a long time ago. However, Qin Mengyan also secretly made up her mind to make Yang Ming forget Xia. She had confidence in herself. Could it be that the feelings in reality couldn't be compared to the vague thoughts in memory? Oh, don't worry, I won't be angry. In fact, Qin Mengyan really wasn't angry. Yang Ming fell because of a woman, but because of another woman he picked himself up again. Who was more important and who was less important, people with discerning eyes could see. Therefore Qin Mengyan was very proud because the woman who made Yang Ming pick himself up again was Qin Mengyan. Of course, what she didn't know was that this was only a small part of the reason. There were many reasons that really made Yang Ming work hard. There was the ardent expectation of his father Yang Dehai, and Zhao Ying who tirelessly tutored him. Of course, the biggest reason was because of the magical contact lenses. It was because of this pair of contact lenses that made Yang Ming's outlook on life completely different. But that Zhou Jiejia, isn't she too hateful? Qin Mengyan felt that if she were in Yang Ming's shoes, she would never do such a thing. Although she and Zhou Jiejia were both learning committee members, there was an essential difference. Zhou Jiejia, she was just a fuse. My head teacher was the culprit of this matter. Yang Ming was now very open-minded. Let bygones be bygones. Zhou Jiejia was still young at that time. She could be treated as a child who didn't know anything. However, Wu Qiren was simply adding oil to the fire and making things worse. Yang Ming hated him the most in his life besides Wang Jitao. Qin Mengyan didn't agree with Wu Qiren's approach, but she couldn't comment on it. After all, it was natural for a teacher to stop a student from dating. There was nothing to criticize. Some things should be stopped at a certain point. Qin Mengyan wasn't stupid enough to ask what Yang Ming would do if Suya appeared again. There was no need to ask. Because of the accident, Qin Mengyan didn't have the desire to continue shopping. Yang Ming was a little depressed because of the matter of Zhao Ying and Jin Gang being together. After calling a taxi and sending Qin Mengyan home, Yang Ming went straight to Lan Ling's residence in Songjiang Industry University. Sometimes Yang Ming felt that he owed Lan Ling. He never treated Lan Ling as a toy that he bought with money. Instead, he loved her like a little wife. During this period of dating, Yang Ming had always prioritized Qin Mengyan's time. He would only find time to accompany Lan Ling in the remaining time. Although Lan Ling didn't think much of it, Yang Ming felt that he wasn't doing his job well. When Lan Ling saw that Yang Ming came so early, she opened the door for him happily. She jumped onto Yang Ming's body. Okay, stop fooling around. I just caught a robber on the street. Let me rest for a while. Yang Ming patted Lan Ling's back. You stay at home all day and don't go out for a walk. You're almost becoming a homebody. I like to be with you. If you're not here, I'll sleep. Lan Ling acted coquettishly and didn't want to get down. Hey, I'll carry you to the bed. Let's lie down for a while. Yang Ming was really tired. It was like the old saying, men don't mind working, but once they go shopping they will be exhausted. Yang Ming didn't walk far before he felt tired. Your clothes should be a couple's shirt, right? I've seen it in TV dramas. On the bed, Lan Ling suddenly stared at the red heart t-shirt on Yang Ming and asked. Yang Ming was shocked. Can't be, right? How could she tell? However, Yang Ming reacted quickly, and it's a set. There's another one. I didn't bring it with me. I'll bring it to you another day. Okay, I haven't worn a couple's shirt yet. Lan Ling nodded happily. Lan Ling was a person who was easily satisfied. She could be happy for half a day over a small matter. Yang Ming complained in his heart. He had to go to the exclusive store again in a while. However, would the staff there think that he had a problem? He was wearing a couple's t-shirt, but he had to buy the same one? Yang Ming wasn't in a good mood today, so he only hugged Lan Ling and didn't do anything else. However, Lan Ling was a bit anxious. What's wrong with today? Why aren't we getting to the point? When can we have sex? I'm going to take a shower. Lan Ling hinted. And Yang Ming didn't understand what she meant. Do I smell good? Lan Ling continued to ask. It smells good. Which shower gel did you use? Yang Ming sniffed and asked. Hurry up and take off your clothes. I want to do that. Lan Ling was so angry that she gritted her teeth. I can't even be subtle. Really? Chapter 171. Yang Ming was really tired these 2 days. Yesterday he played around with his snobbish cousin and then played with Sun Jie in the bathroom. In addition, he went shopping with Qin Mengyan today and was robbed later on. So after he finished with Lan Ling, he fell into a deep sleep. Yang Ming didn't want to sleep because every time after they were done, Lan Ling would lie on his body and tell him a lot of childhood things. Yang Ming was willing to listen. After all, it was something that happened to his beloved. Moreover, the customs of ethnic minorities made Yang Ming very curious. But men and women were different. When making love, men didn't only get physical and mental enjoyment, but they also needed to pay a lot of physical strength. In contrast, women's physical strength consumption was much less. So after a woman did it with a man, she would always toss and turn, unable to sleep. She carefully analyzed his performance, his attitude, and looked forward to some things in the future. At this time, which should be the happiest time in life, she sadly thought of the past. Lan Ling was such a person. She also knew that Yang Ming would always accompany her to talk. But today Yang Ming might be too tired. He had just caught a robber, so his body and mind must be very tired. Lan Ling couldn't bear to disturb Yang Ming's rest. She couldn't sleep, so she got up from the bed and was ready to find something to do. Seeing that Yang Ming's clothes were messily thrown on the ground, Lan Ling bent down to pick them up. Suddenly, she found that Yang Ming's pants were stained with blood. It should be the robbers. Since there was nothing to do, Lan Ling was ready to wash Yang Ming's pants. Anyway, there was a modern washing machine here. After washing and drying, she put it on the balcony and it would be dry in a while. Lan Ling took Yang Ming's pants and went to the bathroom. Then she reached into Yang Ming's pocket and took out the things inside. There was a mobile phone and some change. In addition, there was a shopping receipt. Lan Ling didn't take it seriously. She was about to put it aside when she inadvertently glanced at it. The word couple on the receipt attracted her attention. Average size red heart couple t-shirt, 69 yen. 001 set. The date was written on the t-shirt and the time was a few hours before Yang Ming came here. Lan Ling was stunned. She stared blankly at the receipt in her hand. He lied to me. He just bought the clothes today. No one would believe that he would deliberately send the clothes home. Why would he lie to me? Lan Ling bit her lips tightly. She looked very confused. All these years, ever since her grandmother disappeared, Yang Ming was the person who treated her the best. Lan Ling also gave all her feelings and heart to Yang Ming. The feeling of being lied to by the person she loved was definitely very uncomfortable. Although Lan Ling looked like a little girl, she was definitely not stupid. Of course, she could vaguely guess what was going on. Lan Ling trembled as she picked up Yang Ming's t-shirt. She gently smelled it. There was a faint fragrance on it. Obviously, it wasn't a new shirt. This fragrance didn't belong to her. It went without saying what it meant. Perhaps men wouldn't notice these details, but women were the most sensitive, especially to the smell that didn't come from her body. Lan Ling held the red heart t-shirt and stared blankly. Did he love her? Lan Ling could say with certainty that yes, he loved her. That kind of loving expression couldn't be faked. Especially when Lan Ling could feel Yang Ming's heart. He definitely loved her. But what was going on now? Could it be that he had other women outside? Lan Ling closed her eyes. She didn't dare to think about it anymore. Perhaps he had other reasons? Perhaps things weren't as I imagined? Lan Ling comforted herself. Lan Ling couldn't imagine what life would be like without Yang Ming. Although Lan Ling didn't feel that life was hard before she met Yang Ming, it was very scary for a person who had experienced happiness to return to that kind of life. Lan Ling sighed and decided to bury this matter in her heart. At least now wasn't a good time to talk about this kind of thing. She still wasn't sure if Yang Ming had any improper behavior. After all, the voodoo was like a sharp sword hanging over Yang Ming's head. He still didn't know the specific meaning of the voodoo. Lan Ling stuffed the things in Yang Ming's pants pocket back one by one. The shopping receipt was also put back in its original position. After doing all this, Lan Ling took the clothes back to the bedroom and put them on the bedside table. Then Lan Ling pretended as if nothing had happened and climbed onto the bed. She lay beside Yang Ming. Her left hand gently rested on Yang Ming's chest. She shrank into Yang Ming's embrace and enjoyed this moment of tenderness. Yang Ming woke up and found that it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Looking at Lan Ling, who was sleeping soundly beside him, Yang Ming's mouth revealed a slight smile. Then he gently kissed her cheek and slowly moved Lan Ling's arm away from him. Sitting up, Yang Ming put on his clothes. Perhaps it was because of his guilt towards Lan Ling. Yang Ming went downstairs to the market to buy some ingredients. He was going to personally cook for Lan Ling. Yang Ming wasn't born as a young master. He learned how to cook since he was young, so his cooking skills were passable. A dish of pork ribs, potatoes and beans, and a dish of barbecued tofu. They were cooked quite well. In fact, Lan Ling didn't sleep at all. How could a girl fall asleep when encountering such a thing? Seeing that Yang Ming woke up, Lan Ling quickly closed her eyes. When Yang Ming kissed her, Lan Ling's depressed mood was instantly filled with sweetness. However, when she saw that Yang Ming left without a word, she couldn't help but feel disappointed. Chapter 172. Nonsense, I spent 50 yuan to buy a pure leather condom. How can it not be good? Zhang Bin curled his lips. There wasn't any special request, but we can't afford an imported car. My dad set a standard of around 100,000 yuan for me. Zhang Bin said, I looked at a few cars. Zhonghua Junjie and Fa Pentium are not bad. Yang Ming didn't want his parents to worry. Since it was over, it was better not to mention it. Zhang Bin's reaction was faster. He immediately changed his words. Yang Ming met me. Then I dragged him to Car City to look at cars. Yeah, I think she's quite good. So I plan to increase my efforts after school starts and get her in one fell swoop. Zhang Bin said. It's fine as long as you think she's good. Oh yeah, aren't you planning to buy a car? Yang Ming picked up the car flyer and flipped through it. You went to Car City today? Her figure is very good. But the most important thing is that she has the charm of a mature woman. That black stocking is really seductive. How about it? Can you introduce it to me? Zhang Bin said lecherously. Aren't you afraid that you'll be exposed if you're naked? Lan Ling looked at the food and drooled. Yang Ming looked at Lan Ling's body and drooled. Zhang Bin is here. Mother Yang warmly welcomed Zhang Bin in. Big Ming, didn't you go shopping with Chen Mengyan? Why did you come back with Zhang Bin? Zhang Bin complained that he had become Yang Ming's full-time driver. But even though he complained, he still told Yang Ming. After half an hour, they met at the entrance of Songjiang Industry University's family area. Hee, she's a university teacher. What? Are you interested? Yang Ming opened the door of the front passenger seat and got in the car. Disgusting. Lan Ling made a vomiting gesture. Indeed, it was a little dangerous to eat so much. I just bought it, so I want to buy another set now. Yang Ming said. Going to the business district? What are you going to do there? Zhang Bin asked. You're ruthless, you're ruthless. Zhang Bin gave him a thumbs up. The car stopped at the entrance of the store. Yang Ming entered the store, pointed at the clothes he was wearing, and asked the salesperson to give him a bill and buy an identical set. The salesperson was baffled. Why did this guy come to buy another set? He couldn't help but ask, Sir, didn't you just buy a set? When the time comes, you can teach me how to mix the juices. I'll learn too, Lan Ling said. If you're not afraid of food coming out of your mouth, then let's go. Yang Ming rolled his eyes at her. Well, I won't bother you. You can go now. Yang Ming saw Zhang Bin's Chrysler coming from afar, so he said to Xiao Qing. Yang Ming hung up the phone and said goodbye to Lan Ling. Then he went downstairs. Just as he reached the entrance of the neighborhood, a woman walked towards him. It was someone he knew. Oh, so that's the case. What about Chen Mengyan? Big Ming, you wouldn't leave her alone on the street, right? Mother Yang asked worriedly. It was very impolite to do so. Mother Yang squinted her eyes and looked at the t-shirt on Yang Ming. Her mouth was full of smiles. Obviously, she knew what it meant to have two identical sets of clothes. It seemed that her son had gotten Chen Mengyan. Yang Ming, why are you here? Xiao Qing was stunned when she saw Yang Ming. She didn't expect to meet him here. I prefer this style. My girlfriend also likes it, so I bought an extra set to wear. Yang Ming made up an explanation. And isn't the Fa Pentium a little more expensive? Yang Ming looked at the flyer and asked, but this car is quite stylish. I like this. Damn, consider that I didn't say anything. Zhang Bin complained, hurry up and get in the car. Hey, did you really decide to marry Zhao Sisi? Yang Ming felt that Zhang Bin's decision was too hasty. Right, send me to the commercial street next to Songjiang No. 4 High School. Yang Ming suddenly thought of a very important thing. Buy a set of couples' outfits just like this. Yang Ming pointed to himself. Oh, it's quite exquisite. Yang Ming took it and found that the outside of the wallet felt good. And after I got my driver's license in the morning, I went straight to Car City. I saw a few outfits. Can you give me some advice? Zhang Bin took out a small black book from his pocket and threw it to Yang Ming. Your driver's license. Is it delicious? In fact, it's very simple. Just put some oil on the tofu and then use the sauce to make it. Yang Ming said, when I was a child, I often bought a piece of tofu at home and ate it like this. It's simple and convenient. Who was that just now? You're so hot. Zhang Bin stuck his head out of the window and said lasciviously. In Yang Ming's view, the children of the rich disdained to associate with poor people like them. But on Zhang Bin there was no bad habit. Not to mention that Zhang Bing's family wasn't rich enough. Yang Ming saw many families who started small businesses and earned a few million yuan. They were already very awesome. Xiao Qing nodded. She and Yang Ming were strangers who met by chance. When they met, they just exchanged greetings and said goodbye to each other. A friend. Yang Ming looked back at the direction where Xiao Qing left. I'm saying, why didn't you buy 2 sets at once? You're tormenting me. Zhang Bin pretended to be angry. Lan Ling ate a lot. Her small belly was round. She was so full that she couldn't walk. She swayed back and forth in the house like a crab. After strolling for a while, she felt that the digestion wasn't satisfying enough, so she said to Yang Ming, let's play on the bed for a while? Don't mention it. Yang Ming encountered. Zhang Bin just wanted to say that Yang Ming encountered a robbery, but he was interrupted by Yang Ming's eyes. Yang Ming sweated. Is there anyone like you? Uncle Zhang is unlucky enough. I said that even if it was given for free, it can't be so exquisite. Yang Ming smiled. Right, do you want to buy domestic or imported? I came to see my father. He also lives here. Xiao Qing smiled. University teacher? A good woman. Zhang Bin shook his head. Forget it. I don't want to get into trouble. If it's a slut, it's okay to play around. If it's a serious matter, I have decided to be with Xiao Cici. Lan Ling was afraid of indigestion, so she found something to do. Not only did she wash the dishes, but she also took the initiative to wipe the floor. Yang Ming stayed for a while. Seeing that it was almost time, he called Zhang Bin and asked him to pick him up and send his driver's license. You think I don't want to? This set was bought with Qin Mengyan, but Lan Ling also saw it. I can only say that I bought it for her. So, I have to buy another set. Yang Ming explained helplessly. Yeah, it's more than 30,000 yuan more expensive than Zhonghua Junjie's automatic transmission. I also like this car, but my dad wants me to buy Junjie. Zhang Bin said. Yang Ming filled 2 bowls of rice and placed them in front of the two. Then he said to Lan Ling, well, eat quickly. Try my cooking. I haven't cooked for a few years. Why? Yang Ming was a bit amused. Are you driving, not your dad? I have a friend who lives here. What about you? Yang Ming said. Well, when you bring Xiao Cici, I will also call my friend. Let's go for a ride together. Yang Ming said straightforwardly. Is that so? The salesperson opened the bill and thought about it. Should I reflect to the manager to buy more of this style of clothes? Why is it so popular? Big Sister Xiao Qing. Yang Ming almost called her auntie, but he quickly changed it. I will go back in the evening and discuss with my dad. I will buy the FAW Pentium. Zhang Bin said. Why is he so unlucky? I am his son. How can I be treated the same as his little wife? But hey, his little wife has taken a fancy to the red Junjie. He thought that it would be cheaper to buy 2 at a time. Zhang Bin shook his head. I threatened him. If he didn't buy me a Pentium, I would tell my mom about him. After shopping, Zhang Bin sent Yang Ming home. Then he went upstairs with Yang Ming. Chapter 173. At night, Zhang Bin went home and discussed with Zhang Jiefeng what car to buy. Zhang Jiefeng insisted on buying Zhang Bin and Junjie. In the end, Zhang Bin said, you just want to buy 2 for a cheaper price. Mother Zhang heard and asked curiously, buy 2? Why buy 2? Zhang Jiefeng was sweating. He quickly said, why buy 2? Isn't 1 enough for you? Then buy a Pentium. Therefore, Zhang Bin easily received 150,000 yuan for the car. The next day, Zhang Bin told this to Yang Ming. Yang Ming laughed until his stomach hurt. Zhang Bin, you really dared to say that. You keep using this trick with him. Aren't you afraid that he will kill you? Sure, if he doesn't want someone to inherit his family business, then he can kill me. Zhang Bin said indifferently. Driving a Chrysler to buy a Pentium was quite spectacular. But in this day and age there were many people who drove a good car to buy a cheap car. Some bought it for mistresses, some bought it for their children. Others brought their friends to buy it. For people like Yang Ming and Zhang Bin who were around the same age, they were naturally seen as accompanying their friends to buy a car. Seeing Zhang Bin's car, the sales lady naturally thought that Yang Ming wanted to buy a car. She pulled Yang Ming and introduced him. Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He pointed at Zhang Bin and said, "He wants to buy a car." "Ah?" The sales lady was stunned, but she immediately said, "Sir, you are also a potential customer, so it's not wrong to introduce him to you." "Hee little girl, you are quite good with words." Zhang Bin acted up again and started to tease the sales lady. "Hee, what do you mean by good with words? We have always been serving you warmly." The sales lady was obviously experienced. She defused Zhang Bin's teasing without leaving a trace. "I want to buy a Pentium. What price can you give me?" Zhang Bin saw that this little girl was not easy to fool, so he went straight to the point. Anyway, he had already decided to buy this car, so there was no point in saying more. "Which configuration do you fancy?" When the sales lady heard Zhang Bin's words, she knew that this was a customer who had come to pick up the goods with money, so she did not say anything else. This kind of customer was what they wanted to see the most. They would pick up the car after negotiating the price without hesitation. Zhang Bin pointed at the flyer in his hand and said, "The 2.0 automatic luxury model. The manufacturer's guide price is 165,800 yuan. Compared to the comfort model, it has traction control and leather seats." The sales lady introduced. "Stop. I've already done my research. I can see the manufacturer's price online. What I'm asking is the lowest price you can give me." Zhang Bin waved his hand impatiently. "Hee. The sales lady smiled and said, "We can give you 155,000 yuan for this car. We will give you a complimentary film, seat cover, steering wheel cover and free anti-theft installation." Zhang Bin shook his head repeatedly. He had bought it within 150,000 yuan. This extra 5,000 yuan was obviously not enough. The sales lady saw Zhang Bin shaking his head, so she asked, "Why, sir? Do you still think it is expensive?" "Actually, this price is not expensive." "No, I don't have that much budget. Why don't we look at other cars?" Zhang Bin pretended to think it was expensive and turned back to Yang Ming. "Then sir, how much do you want to buy it?" Of course, the sales lady would not let Zhang Bin leave. "Your price definitely won't work. We have asked online and in the group. Others bought this model, but it was much lower than yours." Yang Ming looked at the sales lady regretfully. "How about this? I will give you a discount to the end. What do you think?" The sales lady hesitated and said, 150,000 yuan is the lowest price. "If you can pick up the car, I will give you this price." 150,000 yuan? Hee little girl, you don't know how to fool us. Yang Ming smiled and said, "How about this? I will also give you a price. If you think it is okay, then sell it. If not, then forget it." "How much?" asked the sales lady. 140,000 yuan. Yang Ming said. The sales lady was stunned. "I have never done this price before. I am afraid it is impossible. You go and ask. If it is okay, we will immediately pay the money and pick up the car. If it is not okay, then we will talk about it." Yang Ming didn't like to waste time when bargaining. He was often decisive. "That is fine. Please wait for a moment. I will ask our manager." The sales lady nodded and then ran to the manager's room inside. "Damn, how can you bargain like this? You directly cut 10,000 yuan. Zhang Bin shook his head. "Didn't you see the price on the internet? It should be around this price," Yang Ming said. After a while, the sales lady ran back. She whispered to Yang Ming and Zhang Bin. "Our manager said that the lowest price is 140,000 yuan. He won't give anything else. He will only install an anti-theft system." Yang Ming and Zhang Bin looked at each other. The lowest price that they asked in the group was around this price. It was impossible to go any lower. You can't expect the dealer to lose money, right? "Alright, let's look at the car first. Then we will do the procedures." Zhang Bin nodded as he agreed. In fact, there wasn't much to pick about the new car. Zhang Bin and Yang Ming mainly checked the common ailments mentioned on the internet. After there were no problems, they listened to the sound of the engine. After that, Zhang Bin went to test the car. The car felt good. It belonged to the self-branded car that had a breakthrough after the red flag. After paying the money and writing the invoice, they drove away. Yang Ming drove the Chrysler while Zhang Bin drove the Pentium. They went to Zhang Jiefeng's company together. As for the procedures, it was handed over to Zhang Jiefeng's driver. It was just a matter of running errands. There was still no news about the missing Imperial Jade. Zhang Jiefeng directly transferred 200,000 yuan to Yang Ming as compensation. Even though Yang Ming repeatedly declined, Zhang Jiefeng was an elder. He didn't want to take advantage of the younger generation. Moreover, Zhang Jiefeng didn't care about this little amount of money. Yang Ming couldn't do anything. Zhang Jiefeng was an elder. Since he said so, if he continued to refuse, it would mean that he was looking down on him. Therefore he could only agree. As a result, Yang Ming's bank account increased to 460,000 yuan. This wasn't a small amount. Yang Ming, do you want to buy a car too? Zhang Bin looked at the bank card in Yang Ming's hand and said enviously, you are richer than me now. Buying a BMW isn't a problem. Let's wait and see. At least I can't buy one now. Yang Ming shook his head. Damn, what are you waiting for? You buy one and we can take turns driving. Zhang Bin suggested. Do you think I don't want to buy one? But under what name? What if my parents ask about it? My money is too mysterious. Although jade gambling is a legitimate business, it is still considered gambling. I don't want my parents to worry about it. Yang Ming said, now I am working for your family. Is it possible for a worker to drive a better car than the boss? You are right. Different professions are worlds apart. Jade gambling isn't easy to understand in the eyes of ordinary people. Zhang Bin nodded after listening. When are you going to buy one? Soon. After I go to university, I am going to start my own business. With my own business, it will be easier to buy a car. Yang Ming said, my family's condition is there. Buying a car out of the blue isn't a big deal. At least I have to buy a house for my parents. Fuck little brat. Zhang Jiefeng slapped Zhang Bin's head and scolded, look at how filial Yang Ming is. You only know how to ask your father to give you money to spend. You never buy anything for me. You should have a son like Yang Ming. Not only does he know how to earn money, but he also found a beautiful daughter-in-law. Stop. I also found a daughter-in-law for you. It is almost done. Zhang Bin quickly waved his hand. Is it true? Zhang Jiefeng was stunned and said happily, you are always right. Could it be one of your stupid netizens? Of course not. We were high school classmates. We were in the same class. She also got into Songjiang Industry University. Zhang Bin was afraid that his father wouldn't believe him, so he added, if you don't believe me, you can ask Yang Ming. Yang Ming, is that true? Don't lie to uncle. Zhang Jiefeng didn't believe him. And that's right. She was my high school classmate and my girlfriend's good friend. Her name is Zhao Cici. He is a good person. Yang Ming said with a smile. Oh. That's great. Zhang Bin, when are you going to bring her home for me and your mother to meet? Zhang Jiefeng said eagerly. Dad, she hasn't agreed yet. Why are you so anxious? Zhang Bin smiled bitterly. How can I not be anxious? There are 3 ways to be unfilial. The worst is to have no children. If you give me a grandson, I won't care about you anymore. Zhang Jiefeng said anxiously. Dad, I just started university. Zhang Bin said helplessly, your request will have to wait for a few years. Don't worry. Zhang Jiefeng realized that his words were too far-fetched, so he smiled and said, son, let me tell you. A wife doesn't have to be beautiful. The key is that she has to have a good personality, be virtuous, and be able to take care of the family. Chapter 174. When the 4 of them came out from the last place with a towel and a wash basin, it was already noon. They ran for 3 hours before they settled the admission procedures. Yang Ming watched the foreign movies behind the MP4 for a while. He felt that it was boring, so he closed his eyes and fell asleep. This way it's better, Yang Ming said, then let's pick up Zhao Cici. Zhang Bin will definitely be happy to do this. After putting away the things, Yang Ming and Zhang Bin locked the door. The room on the right wasn't occupied yet, so they didn't care. When Yang Ming saw the guy in the right room at night, he almost fainted. The advantage of this type of dormitory was that there was no power outage at night. There was power supply 24 hours a day. They didn't have to worry about power outages during the day like other students. Yang Ming could only smile bitterly. He wasn't a kid anymore. How could he not handle this kind of thing? The parking lot in front of Songjiang Industry University was filled with cars that sent the new students to school. Yang Ming couldn't help but sigh. Parents nowadays. What are you doing? The 4-eyed guy who spoke first was obviously unhappy. Do you understand the principle of first come, first served? Student, do you need help? A 4-eyed guy approached Chen Mengyan. Yang Ming and his family went to bed early because they had to report tomorrow. Yang Ming didn't feel sleepy at all. He was lying on the bed and wanted to play with his phone on the bedside table. Suddenly, he noticed an MP4 on the bedside table. What if you bring home a broken shoe and make a cuckold of yourself? That's the end. Zhang Jiefeng said, a wife is for you to take care of the house and give birth to children. It's easy to get a pretty one. You can get anything with money. Yang Ming didn't understand, but the country's education system was like this. He couldn't change anything. After they got off the car, Yang Ming and the other three went to the school's registration reception. Among the four of them, Yang Ming majored in computer science and technology, Chen Mengyan and Zhang Bin majored in international finance, and Zhao Sisi majored in advertising design and media. They belonged to three different schools, but the registration office was the same. The four of them handed in their admission letters and ID cards. After they registered separately, they were told to go to the finance office to pay the money. Tomorrow was the day to report to the university. Yang Ming couldn't stay here any longer. He had to go home and pack his things. That's fine. I'll call Zhao Sisi later and tell her. Chen Mengyan laughed. Of course, she knew that Zhang Bin was pursuing Zhao Sisi. When choosing their dormitory, Yang Ming and Zhang Bin chose a 3-person luxury suite. It was the kind of dormitory that had 3 bedrooms, 1 living room and a private bathroom. This kind of dormitory was found in every dormitory building. There were only a few of them on each floor, and they were considered high-priced dormitories. Most of them were for the children of wealthy families. Yang Ming was considered a little rich now, so he could still afford to stay in this dormitory. In the afternoon, Yang Ming took a taxi to deliver the couple's t-shirt to Lan Ling. Zhang Jiefeng needed the car, so Zhang Bin couldn't send Yang Ming. The next morning after Yang Ming had packed up, he waited for Zhang Bin at home. He would report at 9 a.m. Zhang Bin arrived at Yang Ming's house at 8 a.m. Then both of them went to pick up Chen Mengyan. Under Chen Mengyan's guidance, they drove to Zhao Sisi's house. Originally, Yang's father and mother Yang wanted to ask for leave to accompany Yang Ming. After all, their son's university enrollment was a very important matter. However, Yang Ming had already made plans with his classmates. Therefore, they could only remind Yang Ming to follow the rules when he arrived at the university. Don't mess up the order. Yang Ming got down from the front passenger seat and sat in the back with Chen Mengyan. After a while, Zhao Sisi walked out from the entrance of the neighborhood. Zhang Bin got down from the car like a gentleman and opened the front passenger seat door. After Zhao Sisi sat down, he closed the door for her. Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan found it funny. You hit me. You're good but you're useless. You just wait and see. Four-eyed Frog covered his face in anger. Dad, don't ask this question in front of Zhao Sisi. Zhang Bin quickly reminded him. Yang Ming couldn't help but miss the feeling of that day. However, Yang Ming's intuition told him that this woman wasn't easy to handle. She wasn't someone to be trifled with. Therefore, Yang Ming didn't plan to take the initiative to contact her. So what if I'm talking about you? What are you looking at? Are you pretending with me? Four-eyed Frog obviously wasn't as gentle as he looked on the surface. He pointed at the nose of the boy in the sportswear and said, "What do you want?" After hanging up the phone, Yang Ming told Zhang Bin about picking up Zhao Sisi. Sure enough, this kid was overjoyed. It was actually Sun Jie's MP4. I forgot to return it to Sun Jie when I brought it back. However, it seemed that the woman was very rich. She didn't care about this MP4, right? Yang Ming had already pulled Chen Mengyan aside at this time. He felt very funny watching the two idiots fighting over Chen Mengyan. The luxury suite wasn't allocated according to specialization, but it was the kind that could be mixed up. Therefore, Zhang Bin and Yang Ming asked for 2 rooms in a dormitory. The 4 of them agreed to meet at the school gate after sending their respective luggage back to the dormitory. They would go out to eat together. Holding the towel and basin given by the school, Yang Ming couldn't help but shake his head. The quality of this free stuff didn't seem to be good. This basin was so thin. It couldn't leak after 2.5 days, right? Zhao Sisi had just boarded the bus. Initially, she was still a little restrained. However, after a few words with Chen Mengyan, she became familiar with everyone. The 4 of them discussed the new school together. After all, university life was very novel for freshmen like them who had just entered the school. I will definitely not say it in the future. Zhang Bin patted his chest and promised. That's more like it. Zhang Jiefeng nodded. Since you have a girlfriend, you can't be shabby. I will ask the driver to decorate your car better later. When will the university be able to introduce such a humanized one-stop service? These things could be done in one place. Why do they have to be separated into so many places? The environment of the suite wasn't bad. Moreover, they were all rooms facing the front. Zhang Bin and Yang Ming chose to stay in the 2 rooms on the left that were adjacent to each other. Although the room was only 6 to 7 square meters, it was very clean. There was a single bed, a desk, and a small wardrobe. Lan Ling took the t-shirt and didn't say anything. Instead, she wore it happily. She lingered with Yang Ming for a while before letting him go. But the voodoo didn't seem to be abnormal. Could it be that I wore a condom? The voodoo didn't take effect? It was probably because of this, right? Yang Ming comforted himself. There was a reason why Yang Ming chose a dormitory for himself. He wanted to start earning money while he was still in university. If there were too many people in the dormitory, it would definitely affect him. But if women were to be intimate with each other, it would be more acceptable. Yang Ming didn't think much of it. But if 2 men were to be intimate, it was a little disgusting. Thinking of Sun Jia, Yang Ming's mouth showed a slight smile. What a fiery woman. Especially the 2 majestic peaks on her chest. It was a pity that Sun Jia didn't take off her top that day. He couldn't see the charm inside. Fuck, are you stupid? The sports shirt guy obviously didn't take him seriously. He turned around and left. In fact, there wasn't much to pack. The first day was mainly to pay the money and assign the dormitory. After Yang Ming put the admission notice and ID card on his body, he called Zhang Bin and Qin Mengyan separately. They agreed to report together tomorrow. Yang Ming picked up the MP4 and played with it. Yang Ming was a little confused about Sun Jia's hobby of watching lesbian movies. Women watching women. Yang Ming shook his head. If he were to watch men, he would probably vomit. Student, are you going to pay the money? Why don't I take you there? Another guy in a sweatshirt came over. Fuck, do you think your dad is retarded? Zhang Jiefeng said angrily. Do you think I'm like you? Every word you say makes my heart jump. Zhang Bin just bought a new car, so he volunteered to be the driver. When Yang Ming called Qin Mengyan was in a dilemma. I already made an appointment with Zhao Cici tomorrow. It's not good to miss the appointment, right? The 4 of them came to the school's finance department. After they paid the money, they got the receipt. Then the finance department teacher asked them to register at the student office and assign the dormitory. You motherfucker, what are you saying? The sports shirt guy saw that the 4-eyed guy in front of him dared to talk nonsense, so he was immediately angry. He was the vice president of the school's taekwondo club. How dare someone show off in front of him? You idiot. The sports shirt guy punched the 4-eyed guy's face and his glasses flew away. Chapter 175. Wang Jitao wanted to show off his ability in front of Zhou Jiajia, so he started to boast, "Why did we go to university? Isn't it to have a good job in the future? Zhang Bin is good enough to follow his father's footsteps. Actually, I am the same. When the time comes, my dad will let me be the general manager of Xiongfeng Group. You can all come to my place. I will definitely take care of my old classmates." After hearing Wang Jitao's words, Zhou Jiajia suddenly remembered that the person who was pestering her online a few days ago seemed to be the young master of the Xiongfeng Group's chairman. He was also a student of Songjiang Industry University. Could he be the person behind her? Qin Mengyan just noticed that Wang Jitao was there too. She looked up at Yang Ming as if she was asking why he was here. Yang Ming and Zhang Bin were at the school gate, so they naturally had to wait for a while. Yang Ming definitely couldn't say that he knew Zhou Jiajia, so he pretended that he didn't know and sat over there. Wang Jitao's words attracted the attention of many students in the cafeteria. After all, Xiongfeng Group was quite famous in Songjiang City. Many people had heard of it before. The girl beside Zhou Jiajia couldn't help but turn around and look at Wang Jitao. Waiting for someone? Oh, I know. You must be waiting for Zhao Cici, right? Yang Ming is waiting for Qin Mengyan? Wang Jitao asked with a smile. He had basically given up on Qin Mengyan. Qin Mengyan was different from other girls. Her father, Wang Jitao, knew that he couldn't afford to offend her. Moreover, he had a new target now. It was the girl he met on QQ. I heard that she got into Songjiang Industry University. Doesn't that mean that my chance is here? Yang Ming shook his head helplessly. Zhang Bin and I were waiting for you guys here. Then we met class monitor Wang. He said that he actually didn't need to go to university. He only went to university to gain experience so that he could take over his father's work. Even if he graduated from primary school, he could still manage those masters and doctoral students. Zhang Bin did not recognize it, but Wang Jitao recognized charming baby. This person was Zhou Jiejia, whom he had been chasing after recently. But at the moment, Zhou Jiejia was with another girl. Wang Jitao couldn't get in. Besides, Yang Ming and the others were here. Arriving at the booth in the hall, Yang Ming suddenly saw a familiar figure. Why is this little slut here? Yang Ming frowned. He glanced in the direction of that person, and that person happened to look up as well. Their gazes met, and Yang Ming quickly left, no longer looking in that direction. His reputation must not be tarnished by this little slut. Yang Ming quickly pretended not to know her and never looked at her again. Zhang Bin, on the other hand, didn't remember that the person in front of him was the charming baby in the video. We are going to eat. Class monitor Wang, if you have something to do, go ahead first. Zhang Bin didn't want to be with people like Wang Jitao. Chen Mengyan really didn't want to eat at the same table with Wang Jitao, but she couldn't directly refuse. Zhao Sisi, on the other hand, felt that 2 men and 2 women eating together was a bit awkward. It was like 2 couples. After all, she hadn't been with Zhang Bin yet. Now with Wang Jitao it didn't seem awkward. She didn't understand the contradiction between Wang Jitao, Chen Mengyan and Yang Ming, so she readily agreed. Okay, it will be more lively with more people. But Wang Jitao definitely didn't want to miss such a good opportunity to attract Zhou Jiejia's attention. So without waiting for Yang Ming and the others to speak, he went to the table behind Zhou Jiejia, pointed there and said, "Let's sit here." "And yes, class monitor Wang, are you going out?" Yang Ming saw that Wang Jitao had already said so he didn't want to disrespect him too much, so he responded. At that time Wang Jitao also gave his photo to Zhou Jiejia, but Zhou Jiejia didn't even look at it and just dragged it into the recycle bin. Could this guy be Yang Ming's buddy? It seems like it. Zhou Jiejia secretly remembered it in her heart. She planned to ask this person when she had the chance. She had no choice but to take Wang Jitao, and the 5 of them went out of the university gate. There were many small restaurants near the university, but there weren't many decent ones. Because the students themselves were a low-end consumer group, it was impossible to spend a few hundred yuan to eat in a big restaurant. Those home-cooked restaurants and small fast food restaurants became the favorite of the students. Wang Jitao stuck his head out from the window of a brand-new Honda Accord. "Yang Ming, Zhang Bin, what are you doing?" In fact, Wang Jitao usually didn't lose his self-control, but today the person behind him was Zhou Jiejia, so he tried to raise his value. In his opinion, which girl didn't love money? It wasn't that those who thought they were virtuous didn't love it, but it hadn't reached the point where they were tempted. "Motherfucker, what do you mean?" Yang Ming naturally didn't know about the matter between Wang Jitao and Zhou Jiejia. He thought that Wang Jitao accidentally chose the table there. Yang Ming was angry in his heart. "You can even trick me unintentionally. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? No, I have to get rid of you as soon as possible." Yang Ming said in his heart, "Aren't you fucking talking nonsense? What kind of engine is a Mercedes-Benz? The price is there." Chen Mengyan hated Wang Jitao since the last photo incident. Now that she saw him calling Yang Ming a brother, she was a little unhappy. She felt that this person was too hypocritical. Although most of them were low class, there were a few that were slightly more classy. After all, some students were rich, or they would come to these slightly more classy restaurants when it was their birthday. Yang Ming saw Wang Jitao say so and was helpless. What he said was the truth. "You can't say that we are eating and don't want to bring you, right?" Moreover, Qin Mengyan and Zhao Sisi had already walked over. That person, on the other hand, let out a faint sigh. This person was Yang Ming's junior high school classmate, the girl who complained behind his back, Zhou Jiejia. Yang Ming just watched her passionate video a few days ago. Although Zhou Jiejia also turned her head, the direction she looked at was Yang Ming. She pretended to turn her head inadvertently and pretended to look at Yang Ming inadvertently. Then she quickly turned her head back. Dee-deek, a clear sound of a horn sounded beside Zhang Bin and Yang Ming. "Waiting for someone?" Zhang Bin said casually. At this point, Chen Mengyan and Yang Ming could only acquiesce. Zhang Bin also looked helpless. He couldn't refute Zhao Sisi's proposal. "This car doesn't have the power of a Mercedes-Benz." Wang Jitao sighed hypocritically. Yang Ming wanted to stop it, but it was too late. He didn't want Wang Jitao to get involved. Who knows, this guy might want to join in the fun later. Wang Jitao didn't wait for Yang Ming's reply. He parked the car in the empty space and got off. He purposely waited for Qin Mengyan and Zhao Sisi to come closer before pressing the remote control lock. Unfortunately, the scene just now was in vain. Qin Mengyan and Zhao Sisi didn't even turn their heads. They didn't even notice Wang Jitao's Honda Accord. The Honda Accord made two clear doo-doo sounds as the car was locked. Wang Jitao elegantly pulled the door again. After confirming that it was locked, he walked towards Yang Ming and the others. Motherfucker, Yang Ming felt that his face was burning. This bastard Zhang Bin, how could he pretend to be me and chat online? Now it's great. Zhou Jiejia will definitely laugh at me for being a stuffy but passionate man. The waiter brought the menu over. The three men politely let the girls order. Qin Mengyan and Zhao Sisi ordered a few home-cooked dishes. Wang Jitao and Yang Ming ordered 3 bottles of beer. Since they didn't have to drive in the afternoon, it was fine to drink a little. It's fine. I just finished my registration and nothing much happened. I came out to see if I could meet someone familiar. I met you guys. Where are you going? Wang Jitao asked with a smile. His expression was like that of a best friend. Wang Jitao chose a restaurant that looked good and brought the 4 of them in. After all, they were friends.